Oh, there we go.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. We are here live with the great Zachary, the legacy himself. Zach, how
That's
you doing? We got an impromptu knocked conscious today. We got to talk about how this even came up and why we're talking. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How did this come up?
That's your
I
fault.
forget.
So, all right. So this is what happened. It's
GLaDOS.
such a stupid
GLaDOS,
intro.
man.
It's such a stupid title, but basically, I lived a life. Now, I didn't live a life. It's not my life I lived. I lived a life adjacent. And this is my story. My mom, grandfather, and grandmother all escaped from East Germany in 1953. So they came over.
Hmm.
My mom was a worker. My dad became a barber. They got married, had two kids, and they were working. My mom answers an ad for some kind of catering job. It's for a Jewish woman, Martha Ward, in town in Philadelphia, and she starts working for her. Ends up her daughter Wendy takes over. They keep the last name even though she's married, because of the name recognition, right? So that's Wendy Ward Catering. You can Google this stuff up or whatever. They were back in the 80s and 90s, but let me tell you, in 2000s. And then it got bought up by a guy. It became Peachtree and Ward. So we had like many iterations of this. Okay. We did the RNC convention in 2000 for the Republicans in Philadelphia. That's how kind of like how prominent kind of we were. So we had some
Hmm.
connections, right? Well, this is what happened. I grew up in I would say probably 25%, 25% of my school is Jewish, probably something
Yeah.
like that. So we had a pretty prominent Jewish neighborhood. We had a lot of bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, things we got invited to. Well, because of the catering stuff, my mom did some pretty high end catering. So high end bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, all over synagogues around Philadelphia. Well, if anyone doesn't know this, Bibi Netanyahu's like cut his teeth in Philadelphia. Like he's like a Philadelphia hero. So basically, I don't know if it was after his first term, before he served for a little and then didn't and then came back, whatever.
Hmm.
He would come in through the kitchen and stuff, and I never really thought about like the safety security stuff. I gotta be honest, I was a kid, I didn't really think too much. But I remember busboying and stuff, and I was in a bunch of synagogues. That's where I saw him. I probably saw him maybe 5, 6 times at different synagogues. He was a freaking hero, absolute hero. And so what happened was, you're like, what are you doing in synagogues, you son of a bitch? And
What
I'm
are you
like, what do
doing
you
in the
mean? What am I doing in
synagogue?
synagogues? I'm not a son of a bitch. You're a son of a bitch. So
You're
that's why
you're
I was in
Jewish, dude.
synagogues, man. I first of all had a lot of friends growing up that went to bar and bat mitzvahs, but
Hmm.
specifically this catering thing was through this. And let me tell you something, catering is a cool racket, but it's like the coolest thing. You see some of the craziest stuff behind the scenes.
Hmm.
But it made me think. Now, okay, does that make sense as to why we're starting about this? So you had a question about
Hmm.
synagogues. What made you think, like, what are you doing, man?
First, I was just being a little facetious for give a little humor because everybody's just so doggone serious on X. Like, who cares? Twitter's not real life, everybody. So you go there and blow up some steam. Secondly, I just thought it was funny that you said you saw BB at a synagogue. So that intrigued me. Like, wait a second, what? It would make sense though, because he is from Philadelphia. He was born in Philly, wasn't he?
Right. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
it didn't really connect until his resurgence again. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I didn't even think about it because he wasn't impactful in a global sense the way he is now, right?
No.
Again. But now he's doing this shit. So it started making me think this weird thing, and I'm not saying anything other than this. Everyone have that, what if you met Hitler as a kid? You
See,
know,
oh,
what I'm talking. What if you saw Stalin and he was a toddler, and you're like, "Hello, my name is Joseph Stalin, and I am coming here to say," or whatever. It's like,
the
I'm forward
the
to
funny
looking. I'm
thing
Joseph
about that,
Stalin, please.
that's
What's that?
probably what he sounded like. He
Ouch,
was
man.
very he was very soft spoken, and they say that
He was
his
totally
voice
like
was deep.
jolly or
Yeah,
something, like oddly
yeah,
jolly for a psychopath, right?
probably because he's a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So this is a question. Like, I had my what if moment, right? Like in a weirdest way,
Mhm.
not even thinking about it, looking back, what, 30 years now into this catering career, like in the it would have been like 89 to 90 to 2000, 95, somewhere in that range, probably. So yeah, man, it's funny that you brought that up. So I had that, oh my gosh, I met this in high, what I'm kind of seeing, not the greatest guy. And maybe having a possibility to end that at some point. It's kind of interesting. It just made me think about that.
Mm. Or maybe he at one time he was a good guy and then he got into politics.
Yeah.
They do
Well,
say politics changes a man.
they do. I'm thinking these guys are built from the beginning, though, aren't they? Kind of caught like young. Even
Yeah,
Gad Saad was a Mossad agent at 17, right? They get them.
mhm.
They get them pretty young and stuff.
They
You
do.
got to
They
believe in the
do.
cause young. Why do you think military people fight so young? Right. All
Blood
right.
sacrifice.
So I have nobody on here. I don't see anybody in the comments, but welcome everyone. We've got already 20 people on today. This is a total impromptu, totally thrown together episode of Not Conscious. Zach, you were so gracious to join us. So that's my synagogue story, but it opens a can of worms to other stories. We want to share some catering stuff. You wanted to
Mhm.
share a story though that you had or came across. So I'd love to hear the one that you shared about a one-armed, one-legged man, or what
Oh yeah, it was the one-armed man.
you literally have a
Supposedly,
fugitive moment.
yeah. Well, not me.
Yes.
My mom did. I was a
All
baby,
right.
so this is
All right.
just from what she told me. But this is effectively where my dad already knew him, but she met who would end up being my grandpa Herbie. I had a grandpa Marga and a grandpa Herbie. They were kind of adopted. They took us in because my grandmother passed when I was like 3, so she met Grandma Marga. So, because she came down to Florida while we were still living there, so she kind of grabbed a liking to her and basically anointed her as the go-to after she passed. So sadly, she passed at 62, and but I digress. Like, so Grandpa Herbie was when my mom actually got to meet him. My dad had already gone to Florida. He was somewhat living there before we moved down there uh, as a family. He was working for his firm at the time as they were reshuffling and closing down a bunch of offices because they were going out of business. So we ended up moving down to Pinellas County and Seminole, Largo area in Florida, just right across the bay from Tampa. And oddly enough, as soon as we all moved down there, he started being moved back and forth and going back up to Ohio. Of course, that's how it works. Ohio was where, I mean, most of his offices were in Dayton and couple in like Cincinnati. So Columbus, I think he had a Cleveland one. So he was going. So he happened to be out of town, and it wasn't. From what the story was, it hadn't been too long because we were only in Florida for maybe like 14 or 15 months. So it was probably maybe a month or two, probably a month. Um, you got to forgive me because I'm going off of what my mom told me. I was a little baby. So, and but she finally had just gotten me down for a nap or bed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one. I didn't sleep. And all of a sudden she heard a knock on the door, and it was a deputy. Actually, I think it was actually the actual sheriff. Wanted to ask some questions about this one-armed man, this one-armed robber. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, so yeah, he goes with the spiel and says like, well, we have we have evidence that he lives here or he's hiding out here, and and we have and somebody has we've heard that a man uh just left here a few days ago, which would have been my dad, obviously, leaving for work back to Ohio, back up north. Anyways, he starts getting a little antsy, a little aggressive,
He's not missing an
and
arm, but he's got 3 legs. Hey yo.
Giggles. So giggles.
Chuckle.
But long story short, like they get into a little squab. My grandpa or Herbie uh, ends up coming across the street, or maybe he was running. I'm not sure, but he ends up coming. He ends up talking with the sheriff's like, no, that she just moved here. Her husband's an attorney. He's out of town and this and that, but and she has a little baby in there, probably sleeping. So I mean, she doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. But in the story of the one-armed man, he basically, out of all of this aggression that he's forcing on my mom, trying to get her to talk about some bullshit, he brings up that it's a one-armed man, and he's like wanted for like for robbery and like several
For the
different
murder of
places.
Kimball, right? Of
So,
Dr. Kimball or something?
murder of Dr. Kimball. So, and it's just I find it fascinating because like it's like really like there was a one-armed man
It's like
who
a
lived
real
in that
thing.
house. It's
You
a
hear like
real
myths of
real
like the
place.
one-armed man, and there's like literally a one-armed man.
There's a little literal one-armed man. So, I don't know if they ever caught him. I assume they probably did days later or weeks later or whatever. But it's just it was kind of it's just humorous to look at that. Because it was a freaky moment. She has a little baby inside sleeping, and she's having the police show up at your door asking you questions, something or someone you don't even know anything about. Your husband's not home. He's nowhere. He's not even in the state, let alone not at home. And
There's a one-armed
yeah,
man running around loose.
there's an obvious one-armed man running around. So yeah, so uh, just little funny stories like that
That's a
you
good
laugh
one,
at.
man.
So
Well, once again, welcome everyone. We are here at a special edition of Knocked Conscious. I'm with Zach again. Zach, you joined me literally a week ago, so I feel like I've been doing triple duty. It's a good problem to have friends like you to jump on to have a chat because these solo
mhm,
shows suck. I hate
they
sitting
do.
there. And then today I went and did this, and then this happened, and this is how I feel about that. It's not fun. It's not fun. So thanks for joining. I
It
wanted
really
to
is.
share what so I call so in anticipation of this event, I called my mom to be like, "Hey mom, what are some of the crazy stories?" And she had to refresh some of my memories. There's just so many fun ones. So here's one that's so much fun. There's this place in Philadelphia called the Philadelphia Armory. You're familiar, like, National Guard or whatever would, prepare there. The Armory. Everyone has like a local armory or whatever. So every year we do like a flower show, and we as like 14 to 16-year olds would like be bus boys. So and it was like buffet style, but the thing was spread out. Think about like an expo convention center. So we as little kids had to carry like 30, like 50 pounds of like plates without bumping into people, like it was a lot of work, a lot of schlepping, running around. You definitely felt that work, but it was a good problem to have, right? So my
It is indeed.
mom my mom arrives to the armory early, and they got all the stoves and everything, and they wheel everything in. You plug them into gas, you got to light them up, right? So the thing is, catering is like a cash business. Okay. So like what you do. Oh, Justin just joined in. Justin, welcome, man. Welcome. Thanks for coming on. So I what? Not the invite to get on the pot. Dude, you want to come on? You want to get shellacked like we're gonna shellac this guy coming on pretty soon? We'll happily do it, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. Justin, welcome. Let's get you on. Let's get you on a panel, man. So, so this is the thing. So my
Hey
mom
man.
had. So this was the thing. Every at the end of the thing, she hands out cash to everybody. She pays in cash. She might not see them for months at a time. That's how catering works. Like people come and go. It's super like fickle, right? People like very transient, very seasonal, right? Okay. She's got like 12 grand in cash in her purse. And she's walking around with this freaking purse full of cash, right? Now this is like 1988, all right? 12 grand. So what's that? 50 grand today? Like think about how
Something
much
like
money
that.
that
Yeah.
actually is, right? All right. she's like, well, I'm not gonna walk around with this freaking cash with me all day. First of all, it's like uncomfortable, right? It's like a wad of cash. So she ends up putting in, oh, I lost Zach for a second. So I lost your camera, buddy. All right. So she ends up putting it into one of the ovens. She's like, I'll just keep it safe. I'll hide it from people. No one's gonna open the ovens to look in the ovens. Well, a little bit later, they're all sitting there, and all of a sudden my mom's like, I smell burning leather. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're crazy. Now, my mom and I have this like sixth sense about our scent. It's like a sixth sense scent. Like, we can pick up the slightest smell of something in the air. You know what I mean? Like, we just have a really good nose. She's like, I swear I smell leather burning. And everybody's like, whatever, right? All of a sudden, she's like, oh shit. She goes running, and the dude started firing up all the ovens in the place, and her purse is in one of them. She opens it up and like it's like grabs and throws it out, like tosses it out. The money was saved, but all her makeup, all that shit was just all like globbed and melted inside. And it's like she could have like just literally had 12 grand go up in smoke. It would have just been crazy. So that's weird shit we do, man. Oh, did I lose you?
At least,
You muted.
at least it was all painted. So,
It's true.
oh
It
yeah.
all turned out okay in the end.
So you got painted makeup money, and it was still 12 grand worth. It just was painted. So
Right. And
that's
so
funny though.
so Justin, you jumped on a Facebook thing recently. I said something. Oh, I had a stupid meme. I forget what it was. It was about something about bombing something. Oh, this is what it was.
Oh,
It was about they say the next ones will be sent by a guy who promised not to do this. And then it
mhm.
really makes you feel like you're putting America first. So anyway,
my
and
favorite
it's
meme. My favorite meme at the moment is Tel Aviv is burning, or maybe it's Tehran. I don't know, but it's
Tel
white
Aviv
smoke.
was
Yeah, but there's like white smoke flying out, and like, look, they've chosen the new Jeffrey Epstein.
oh damn. I was like, yeah, how are they gonna make the Pope thing work?
Yeah,
That's an
uh,
interesting one. And I
we're
look, I get it. I really do understand. I think I understand. This is like a war of impasse because there's faith involved with some people who won't
mm,
who c- who who honestly have a faith that this is going to be the way it is, right? Like that it's a certain job to do this because that's the right thing to do from a perspective. I
mhm.
disagree, but I could totally understand that that's what's happening, right? That's kind of what we see happening.
No, I mean nobody knows. You don't know when you can interpret all you want, but honestly, half of the faith thing, like with most of these conservative Christians, they're just Old Testament death cults. They're not looking anywhere else in the Bible but where it's fulfilling Israel as the
Right.
chosen people, and then
And I
filling
get
in the
that.
gaps of the prophecy. But in reality, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but Israel was reformed. It's the church, everybody.
I totally
Galatians.
get that.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that though, honestly, is because first of all, once again, here we go. Justin is always welcome to express his opinions on our show. They slightly differ, but I do not think Justin is in the camp that you're saying. I do think that Justin has like a true faith because I've spoken with him very earnestly about this.
Hmm.
So I just want to say, like in certain cases, like once again, we were watching Ted Cruz literally get
Hmm.
dismantled by Tucker. It's a
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, as far as like apocalyptic uh prophecy and tellings and fulfilling, yeah, I think, I mean, we are probably living in the end of days.
I'm gonna say it feels like they hit chaos on the simulation. They hit like chaos mode. Like in The Sims, you can like turn on like fires and like
Yeah.
brimstone and literal fucking volcano just blew up, Zach. Come on, man. We're not kidding ourselves here. We got
Mm-hmm.
volcanoes. We got, whatever, fire and
We
brimstone,
got
ladies.
we got hurricanes in the middle of the mountains.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, right? Fire departments. We got fires. It's literally Sim City,
Well,
everybody. Sim
we got
City.
LA
God's like,
riots.
think I'm done. Bonk. Let's go.
I would add the LA riots, but that's nothing new.
Yeah, that's
That
nothing. That was
that
actually safe mode, I think.
yeah,
That
that
was
was the
that
safe
was
mode.
comfort
They
mode.
rebooted.
So, all right. So here's I want to I'll plump in another this is a fun but stupid catering story because it turned out okay. And then one of my other ones is awesome too, but I got probably three more, but this one's great. So we're at a bar mitzvah for a kid. Okay. Now you want to talk opulent. They hired Cirque du Soleil at this kid's bat mitzvah. Like, if you don't know what Cirque du Soleil is, the tents alone cost like 30 grand to set up. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a joke. Like, that stuff's legit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy actually had Cirque du Soleil show up. All right. So if you've ever been to bat mitzvah, any kind of like christening for Italian people, those kinds of things, like you ever watch Godfather, not Godfather, Goodfellas, where she's like, how
Goodfellas,
much you
yeah.
need? And she goes, I need this much. She's like, I need this much. They
I
don't give
need
it to you
some.
how much money they need. They just need a stack, right? I need this much. That's how they give you money at bar and bat mitzvahs. They just give you envelope after envelope, right? Now, all of us were wearing tuxedos, and the kid is wearing a tuxedo because that's what everyone was wearing for the catering event, right? The kid was sitting his throne, whatever, collecting his money. End of the night, his jacket is gone. It had like hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. Cause like they just give you, you know what I mean? It's like literally just
Mm-hmm.
stuffed in the jacket, right? Every single person was wearing a suit jacket, tuxedo jacket. So you can imagine how flipping crazy everything was. But
Mm-hmm.
it was a bat mitzvah, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think saved the day? Come on. Bubala saved the day. She took the jacket because she knew how much the cash was worth. Ladies and gentlemen, Bubala came in and she took the jacket without anybody knowing to protect it for sure. But that's pretty awesome. Dude, we were flipping out because imagine like all that cash just gone. Like, it would have been
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So
All of
that was
that
a fun
money
one.
wasted.
Yeah. Anyway, so
If
I
it,
got wasted
yeah,
some other way, but I'm sure in a good way. So
hopefully,
here's
rather
another
than
one.
back.
Walked into this is in hindsight. Okay. Are you familiar with Roth painting, Rothman, like the bricks, the
Oh
squares?
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Walked in back in I think it was 80s or 90s, walked in and there's three squares sitting in a frame in a foyer at someone's house. And we're like, what the
Huh.
fuck is this? Like, what is this? And they're like, oh, this is this up and coming Roth something. They're called bricks or whatever. It's worth like $2 million now. And you're just
Oh
like,
yeah.
Jesus,
Oh,
dude,
it's.
these fucking guys know like everything. And not
Oh,
these,
they know.
I'm talking about rich people, opulent people know. Like you talk about how they make money because they know. They're in the know. Their
Mm-hmm.
fingers on the pulse. The reason it's hard to get up. You can look, hard work will get you improving. But damn, there are some levels that we just are not at. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it gets tiring to put in the work, and some people just have it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
part of it is, I think a lot of it's just the ability to smooth, and I think Jews have that. I mean, I
Well,
didn't get that gene, but I'm
you
not
know what it
full
is?
Jew. So.
And schmooze. Once again, I have had such a life, an amazing life. My life is nothing without actually Jewish people in my life. It's just a
Mhm.
fact. Like I don't have the childhood I had. I don't have the friendships.
Yeah.
I don't have anything without that.
Mhm.
But what's interesting, like our German culture shuns talking about money. No one shares what they do or how much they make. It's like a
Mhm.
privacy, like it's so private because it's personal And I've always met in the community that I've met within the Jewish community is that
Yeah.
people are very open. Like, how much you make this year? What? No, no. What are you talking about? And it's just like not a thing. And it's like,
It just
I think it helps drive each other to actually compete because it always will be coming up in conversation. So you better
mhm,
have an answer kind of thing. Like it's almost like
agreed.
if your family's political and you're not, you're like, well, I guess I should have an answer or two for one of the questions they're going to ask me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if it's always like about success and how much hard work and how much money you make or something or some metric of that, I could see that culturally driving you to improve even without it actually like for you know what I mean? Like forcing it on someone.
Mm. Yeah, I could yeah. They're very open.
Yes.
And I think and yet they're also very successful. So I can see that openness basically allowing for a drive. You see that this they're doing well, so I'm going to reflect that and do 10 times better than they are. So it's not like it's not that I shouldn't say they're smooth. They're smoothing. They're probably they're hard workers too, just in a
Yeah.
different work
And
ethic.
once again,
So
I don't even know why we're saying they and them or whatever. It's like, oh, it just happens to be right.
for
You know.
YouTube purposes.
For you two, dude, we're canceled regardless. Okay, what is Justin? Hey, you want to read what Justin has to
I
say
know.
here?
I know I'm canceled on YouTube already. Didn't even last that long. I averaged like 2 views on everything. But then I had
Me
the
too.
Rumble. So,
It's me too.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rumble's crushing it actually.
Mhm. I was raised same way regarding money. It's a private thing. One of my best friends is Jewish, and he always is open with how much he and his girlfriend make and what they spend, etc.
So, you know,
Mm.
this once again, this anecdotal, guys, like not everyone's all like X, Y, or
Mhm.
Z. This is just this is my experience in my culture and everything, and it's pretty interesting.
Well,
So,
the
anyways,
the funny that takes speaking of culture and just funny, the black culture. This isn't gonna be racist, guys. This is actually
wait,
gonna be
wait, you're
inspiring.
well, be careful. It's Juneteenth, my friend.
Oh, well, happy Juneteenth. This is gonna be an awe-inspiring, positive Juneteenth.
Shit.
I had a I had me and my buddy, his name's Zach as well. We were with our we were walking at our this was a few years ago. We were probably still like 17 or 18. And I'm like vigorous because I'm a dumbass. And although we were gangster,
I
we
think we
really
all
were
tried that once.
yeah, we were
And
me and Zach were gangsters though. We actually put in work, rob people. I'm not proud of the things I've done, but you grow
hey, but
out
you
of it.
learn, man, and you're here now. That's
You
all that matters.
yeah, exactly. And anyways, we were with our buddy T Mac. That's what we called him. His name was Terrence. Awesome dude. We fucked him over so much because he was a little overage and he was kind of a little retarded. Um, Sweet dude. He would buy us alcohol. We're sitting there 16, 17 years old. Hey T Mac, can you buy us some beer? And he'd be like, I shouldn't do that. I'm like, come on, man. We'd smoosh him into it. Like, and then he goes and buys us a bunch of beer. Oh, I feel so bad now. I love Terrence though. But we're sitting there walking around our fall fest one year, just hanging out, me, Zach, and T. And then next thing you know, we're sitting there chilling in front of the stage, the country music's blaring in Lawrenceburg because that's all it is. It's country music. And at least at that time. Now they're into like a blues thing. So and T Max like, here, give me that. He takes my flag I had hanging in my back pocket. And he's like, give me that flag. And then he puts it, he starts tying it. I'm like, what's he doing? Zach's like, what? I don't know. What is he doing? And then he puts it on my head and then he starts tying it into a knot. He's like, now you look like a nigga. I'm like, his words, not mine. I'm like, what? Yeah, dog. He gave me a fucking do-rag. Oh shit. I lost you.
Time out. Time out. Not
Oh.
nah. No, 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 no. Stop. Whoa. Stop. Hold on. No. I mean, look, free speech. All right. But what is Freedom Fest doing to you people? I come back. Did you listen to Jason's words on last podcast? What he said he wanted to have happen? I was like, ah. And all I could say was, I support your ability to say it. I don't support it, but you can say it.
I
And
don't
now
support it.
you drop this. We're getting pre-canceled, man. We're gonna
Oh,
have to
damn.
spend Juneteenth first on this.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Freedom Day.
Dude, and we're gonna get into Juneteenth. Like, like the 20th. Anyway, all right. So first
It
of
is a
all, we got
wonderful
40
holiday, I will
people on
say.
right now. We got 40 people on an event, impromptu, knocked conscious with my friend Zach over here, Legacy Zach. All right here. He's sharing his story. Now he dropped a word that once again, I don't know. This is not.
I
I'm
shouldn't
just.
have dropped it, but you know what?
Hey, it happens.
Hey,
We
it happens.
once again,
So,
that's a very nuanced thing. We're not going to get into that, but I understand you specifically put an emphasis on the end there, made it different, whatever, but I'm with you. All right. Now, please continue
I will
because
say it.
I promote
Oh,
free speech.
oh no, that's basically it. He said that. I'm like, I just looked at Zach and went like this, and then I looked at him like, thank you, dude. I'm sitting there wearing a do-rag over my head. Thanks to Terrence.
Man.
God love Terrence, wherever you're at, man. I hope you're doing well, T-Mac. So I miss you, buddy.
There you go. All right. Well, once again,
I
we got
haven't.
over 40 people on. It's pretty crazy. So we're sharing some stories about some things about childhood stuff. This started off with my comment that I met BB as a young man, very young man.
What are you doing in synagogues, man?
In synagogues, and Zach's like, "What do you do in synagogues, man?" And I'm like, "I just hung out in the closets. I don't know. I do baptisms. I have
Right.
no idea." So,
Do they do baptisms?
so sharing some
Someone
catering.
Justin, while you're down there, fact check for us. I don't feel like fact check. Do they do baptisms in Judaism? I'm
Oh man! All right, we got Justin on as a fact checker today. Go and read that one, Zach. Read that one for us.
Oh, I was thinking here I am watching from Argentina, and now I'm going to be implicated in an international
Bonus plot.
Yep.
Okay, so if people watched Monday's episode, Jason, we're gonna have an intervention for Jason. Jason's no longer allowed to drink with us. And I'm just kidding. He can have whatever he wants. But Jason said something that I was just like, whatever. I listened to it again and I was like, oh shit. So once again, I promote everyone saying what they say. They are free. I am almost an absolutist. I'll admit this was kind of against, maybe uncomfortable. I'm very hard to get uncomfortable about words. This one made me uncomfortable, but we have a little shade in our front window where our door is, so people can look in. I walk downstairs the first thing in the morning, close those shades, made sure that front door is locked, and my girlfriend's off for school, so she's off right now. And I look at her, I go, if anyone knocks on the door, you get me before you open that. I will open the door. Do not open a door. Do not invite anyone, because we might have ourselves a Jeremy Coffin moment. You know what I mean? Like, people fucking listen. They listen. That's all I'm scared. That's all I'm saying. So
you never know.
We got a fact checker here.
Well, they should.
We tried.
Maybe they should.
We tried. The tub's not big enough for the baptism. It's only big enough for the little hats.
Well,
anyway, yeah. so use
the Jordan River. Use the Jordan River. You're in Israel. Use the Jordan River. Be like John the Baptist.
All right, everybody. So, catering. I lived a life, man. I'm telling you, I lived a life. I just Googled it. Justin, you can be our official please officially fact check this. Are you ready? My mom comes home 2:33 in the morning. That's a typical day. Kate, exhausted. I'm still up. She comes in sometimes, wake up or whatever. Oh, how'd it go? Whatever. She goes, you won't believe where we were. And I'm like, okay. She goes, We were on the most amazing yacht you've ever seen. We were on, right, Justin, this is where you Google this stuff, man, or whatever, web search. The Trump Princess yacht. Trump Princess. You can look up Adnan Khashoggi, Khashoggi, not
Mm,
the journalist, but I think he's related to the journalist. He sold it
sounds
to an
like
arms dealer who sold it to Trump, and it's wired with all this recording device. What a shocker! Okay, and that was the time when he knew Epstein. What a
no.
shocker! Just saying. Ian Carroll
Ooh,
broke it. It's on his episode. He just did it today. 32 minutes in, he talks about this little boat. I had no idea. What's hilarious about this is that you and I talked about doing this podcast, and I was so happy to share that story because I have a napkin from the Trump princess that my mom brought home with her. And
wow.
it's somewhere in a closet. But this is the story
It's in
my
the
mom got to
closet.
share. Needs to come out of the closet. So this is the story
Come
my
on.
mom gets to share. This is the thing. She goes, "You won't believe what they have there. They have their daughter, this little girl. She's so lazy. Her whole life is on this little pad. She pushes a button, and the shades go up and down, and her TV comes up. I can't believe that was Ivanka Trump. That little 8, 9-year-old girl that she talked about was Ivanka Trump. And here we are now. Like, I'm like, how the hell did I get, like, how did that happen in my life? That, like, I brushed, you know what I mean? Like, I have a napkin from a boat that was sold by an arm dealer to Trump from a guy whose, like, relative was the Khashoggi, I think, that they cut up into pieces. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not kidding.
Wild.
Like, this shit's wild, man. Crazy shit. Anyway.
I just I just want to know how did your mom get on the boat?
She
Who
stepped
did?
on.
Oh,
Just
she
you
just
just
stepped on.
I'm
Oh,
just alarms
did
went
she
off,
know
you know.
people?
There's probably a recording of her making a meal there
Probably.
or something.
Probably.
But
Did you know
imagine, like,
people?
it's just
Catering.
like you're like, Ivanka's got this
That
little
is
remote control. Oh shit, the thing's wired.
funny.
Wired. Okay, cool. Anyway,
Oh, you know
so
what? It just hit me. Catering.
here we go. There it is. Boom. We got fact checking. No joke. There
Built
it
for
is.
Saudi billionaire Adnan Khashoggi. Khashoggi sold the yacht to Sultan of Brunei,
Brunei.
who in turn sold it to Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I wonder if Trump still has it though.
No, he sold it. He sold it
Yeah,
right after that. Or some, I think
to
Ian even
Israel.
mentioned, I think 15, I don't remember, 15, 7, some, but this was a while ago. So this is like
I wonder.
88 because I remember Dennis. Remember the guy Stars and Stripes? Remember America's Cup? The guy they did the
Mhm,
catamaran boat. I have his
mhm.
signature. I've got signatures of Dr. J, uh, Tony Stevens, like all these like great sports athletes from the era of Philadelphia because of my mom's connections.
That's awesome.
I have. Do you have any other? Tell me another story because I've got
I
one.
I
I got
mean
a banger I want to share, but I'd love to hear another one of yours, man. If you want to share one.
I mean, the only speaking of signatures, I mean, about the only thing I've ever gotten that was a cool signature. Oh, no, I take that back. You know the Crypt Keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a, horror hound one year with my buddy, and,
Oh, cool.
John Cassier was there. Yeah, I mean, yes, it costs money to get a signature, and you gotta buy it, but it was like $5, and then we both I hope he still has the picture because I know for God's sake I don't, but we took a picture with him. He was taking pictures of everybody, so yeah, we got it's pretty dope. I have, the picture I have, it's put up right now, but it's just a crypt keeper. He signed it, John Cashier, and, he says he says I'm running a blank, man. That's how my day's gone.
That's all right. It's been a day.
But yeah, but he says his signature motto from the Crypt Keeper series.
Oh,
So or Tales from yeah. Mhm. With yeah,
that
so
was one of the best.
that was
Tales from the Crypt, man, was a banger of a show.
oh, I was freaked out as a kid. It freaked me out.
Yep.
It freaked
And
me
those
out.
movies, they did those
Love it.
2 or 3. The one with Dennis Miller, Corey
Mhm.
Feldman did one. There were a couple really
Mhm.
good Tales from the Crypt movies.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Oh, that's
The only
awesome.
other signature I had was like I got a T-shirt going to a Cincinnati Stuff game. Now I'm dating myself. And the stuff don't even exist anymore. But when they did, when the IBL existed for like a year, we got season tickets. So like
Very
we
nice.
would go on all the days that we would like all the games that there would be they'd hold like how they have like special things where they give you stuff. Well, they give
Yeah.
you got a free T-shirt and they had like autographs. And what was cool is like one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite players on the team, Eric. His name was Eric Taylor. He was their center power forward starting. Ended up going through the line, got a signature. I ended up stepping out because my dad ended up talking with just some random, what you would think was just some random guy, and it ended up being Eric Taylor's dad. So I met him, and then next thing out comes Eric Taylor, just steps out. This dude's like this, and of course, I'd still be like this now, looking
Right.
up, but I
Right.
was even smaller then at like 10. I'm only looking up like, so I got to shake his hand, and he actually signed the shirt, like, right
How
then and
cool
there,
is
because he
that?
wasn't he wasn't even supposed to be in the booth to do the autograph. He just stepped in because he was meeting his dad. So he basically just signed all of us kids' shirts that we had, and it was pretty sick. So
That's the coolest one because like you're just sitting here talking to some regular guy in
mhm,
line, right? And you're making this weird connection. I know you're only 10 here, but like even as adults, man, it happens all the time. You're talking to some regular Joe like he's the guy that you're
normal
about
dude.
to see. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? You treat him the same way that you would the guy that you're about to stand in line with to see. You're giving him the same respect, and he's like related to that guy that you're gonna see, and you're like, oh shit,
exactly.
like that's cool because like that guy doesn't get to see that often. Usually gets looked over or passed over, right? Because like, oh my god,
Mhm,
I got to see your son or I got to see your whatever. So that's
mhm.
cool. So I
So,
do have to
very,
gush a
very
little
nice
bit, my
man.
friend. I did. Speaking of signatures, just two alone right here. Little Scott Horton action. There's one.
Sick.
All right. This week. Thank you, Scott.
It was
Once again, ronpaulbbq.com. August 9th. Go. It's in
is that
Texas. Just
August?
go because I'll be
Mm,
there. I got a
August
place.
9th?
I don't know you can hang there, but I'll be there kind of alone. So maybe people can hang, but I can't promise anything. No funny
Mhm.
business. All right. But I've
We'll
got not
see.
only that one, I want to share another one because this is about like levels, my friend. A lot of people don't know this gentleman, but this gentleman is Keith Knight, and he wrote
Mhm.
the
The
Voluntarius
volunteer.
Handbook,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he
that's cool.
signed this guy. So I'm just saying. There you go. I don't know if that's good. There you go. Something like that. So Keith signed that. Thank you, Keith. These
And a
things
little
are
note
going up
too.
on the wall.
He
Anyway,
gave you a thank you message too.
he did.
That's
He was
actually that's real. That's probably the coolest one.
Keith. Yeah, anything,
Actually,
I never met Keith. And
that's
Keith lit
mhm.
I can't dox us, but Keith lives in the town where my girlfriend teaches school. So we're
So
really
Arizona.
close. Yeah, and it's really cool. He does cool stuff. So, and
Mhm.
it's really honored just watching. Like, I watched him with Brett Weinstein.
Mhm.
They were having a conversation, and I didn't want to interrupt, obviously, but they were just having a good watching just people that you admire having conversations with other people you admire that you probably would never see in the same room is cool
Mhm.
to me. Like, I just imagine the exchange of ideas. Anyway,
Yeah. No, that's
so
that's cool. It sounds like
all
you
right,
had a
so what do we got here?
hell of
Hold on,
a time.
we got some Justin stuff. You want to share this?
Angie Everhart was an absolute smoke show in Bordello of Blood, a Tales from Yes. You're not wrong. A Tales from a Crypt movie. You are not wrong.
Bordello of Blood was
Oh, Bordello.
absolutely
It was
smoke
amazing.
show. And it's funny because I think Justin and I are like months apart in age. So for us, specifically, I think you and I remember that time, Justin. That's probably when we were
Mhm.
like, that's when I was a pseudo hound dog. You know how like there's incels now? I was an incel trying not to be an incel. Like I didn't hate women. I just wanted every one of them, but I didn't get any of them. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
That's why
I
you
was
get into
just
drugs.
teasing. How about this one? You want to share this one too?
I've decided to start labeling you guys hardline libertarian ANCAPs as Paulites and Hortenteers. Jokes on jokes on you, Justin. I'm not a libertarian or an
Neither am
ANCAP.
I, sir.
Excellent.
Yeah, but that's funny though. Paulites and
I,
Hortoneers. I mean,
that is
Hortoneer is a
funny.
fucking
That
cool
is funny.
name. Are you a Hortoneer? Dude, I'd adopt that because
Hey,
that sounds fucking
I would
hilarious.
I would definitely, and then you could actually play it to like nobody would know what you're talking about. They'd think
Yes.
it was Horton here's a who
Yes,
or
Horton
Horton
Hears a
here's
Who,
a who.
right.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's
We'll be
Scott
Horton
Horton.
Ears. Yep. And then before you know it'll be Proud Boys of the Scott Horton clan. Then they'll label us and then they'll
Exactly.
eject us and fire us and put us in jail. So
Probably
I
in
love that
El
one.
Salvador.
Thank you for sharing that, Justin. So this
You
is
forgot the El Salvador.
where's
Yeah.
El Salvador?
Oh no, they'll reject us and throw us in jail in El
Oh,
Salvador.
that's right. El
Yeah,
Salvador. That's
they'll
right.
be
We'll deport
yeah.
us without due process, for goodness sake. So here, I'll share one more because like we're just having a fun time. Right now, I'm here over this guy. This guy over here, Legacy Zach. Okay, look down
Oh
here.
wait.
There's this green bar. There's this green bar with white writing. You guys see that at the bottom? Do us a small favor. Go to https://rumble.com/user/legacy, right? Do all that and go to @legacy_Zach. Do all that. Go to the Twitter or the X or whatever. Go to Rumble. Just follow. Just follow, subscribe, whatever that thing is. Follow him. Also, if you could do us a favor, Jason and I will be back on Monday with a new drop. Not
Mm-hmm.
drop. Oh my God, I'm four podcasts behind. We're doing an If by Whiskey. And by the way, I watched Keesing Constantine, whatever, on Piers Morgan with Dave Smith. He If by Whiskeyed something. So hopefully we'll have a clip of that. He actually an If by Whiskeyed a comment. And I sent it to Jason. We had a good laugh about it. So anyway, so do me a favor, guys. Go on rumble.com. Drop the mask pod, Legacy Zach, If by Whiskey, Knocked Conscious. Join. Log in. Join us. Our community's open. Justin's hanging out with us from freaking Argentina. And he yells at me all day on Facebook, tells me how wrong I am. And I just eat shit burgers all day from that guy. I just take big bites out. So we welcome all. But sir, do you have any other fun stories that you want to share before I share one of my good ones?
I
Not that
think
yours aren't good.
funny.
I'm just saying this is
Oh no,
this is one of the ones that I call
no,
prime.
yours is.
The one I'm going to share at the end here is so awesome.
Oh no, yours are probably way better. Although I will share, my mom lived in the Keys, so she has some stories. She was in the Keys for about a year, a little over a year, for reasons. I'm not going to share those reasons. She was running basically. She was yeah. Anyways, she worked at a. She was down there in Layton, Lime Tree Bay Resort, which still exists. I don't know who owns it now, but my grandpa actually through my grandfather, he actually knew people down there and knew the original owner, who's long been passed. Like to say his name was like Raul or Robert. I don't know. I don't care. He was Haitian. But she worked there. She worked a number of other side jobs like cleaning and all that. She was one of the head cooks, and server, and just basically a bunch of hats on there while she worked down there in Layton and on Long Key, in the Florida Keys. But she had her moments of a good time, and most of it was just basically working her ass off. Anyway, speaking of working her ass off, she worked multiple jobs, as I said. So she was coming home late, and she her secondary job, she pretty much worked into the wee hours. So she was done probably about maybe 1, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't She doesn't really have a whole lot of time to get home and get much rest before she has to get ready and then go out the door and down to the resort, which is literally just like around the corner, basically, or it was like right there. Um, and so, because she had to be there by like 3:30 or 4, because she had to open up. They did breakfast for a lot of the fishermen down there. So she goes to she anyways, it gets to that time where she needs to leave. They had to open up the restaurant or help get ready for it. And she walks out the front door and there's a possum there, just sitting there, foaming from the mouth and growling. It's a rabid possum. Not thinking anything of it, she shuts the door. So she just walks over to she had a back door, so she'll just walk over, exit the back door, and then go around through that way. I kid you not, this is what she told me. She goes, opens the door, the possum followed her. So she
No
goes
way.
back to the front.
So like ran around, it's
Yeah,
like, oh, I'll
yeah,
get you on the
yeah,
other
fuck.
side.
Unless it was a secondary possum that happened to be rabid.
Rabid
Unless
zombie
there were two
possum
of them.
apocalypse.
Could have been. Could have
A
been. But yeah,
possumless. A possum lips.
possibly. Yeah. So she shuts the door. She goes to the front. Lo and behold, she opens the door. And lo and behold, there it is again. So it's either, like I said, it's either two zombified, foaming from the mouth, evil demonic possums, or this fucker is following her back and forth. She goes to the back, there again. And this goes for some time. She keeps on going back and forth. So she could tell the story a little bit better.
Did she try a cut back? Like, I'm gonna go to the other one, but then come back and go to the other one, the first one, like I'll fake it out? Because that would have been my first guess.
I think
After
she,
three, I would have
yeah,
been done that. I would have been like, I would
yeah.
have closed the door, started walking, and then tiptoed
Mhm.
back to the first door.
I'm sure that she probably did, but it didn't
It's a
matter
zombie
because every
apocalypse,
time,
dude.
yeah,
It
it
was an
was just
apocalypse, a
it was
possum
always there.
lips.
It
Dude,
was
that's
always
great.
there. She finally did end up like screeching for help, and like a lot of the workers from the restaurant and the resort ended up. There were a few of them that were. They came together, grabbed their brooms, saw it on the front, and then they started getting away, hitting it, slung it out into the middle of the road, and it played dead because it would eventually wake up and go run off. But yeah, she probably spent, from what she said, she spent like a good hour going back and forth until she was finally get some help, not knowing if she would ever be able to get out of her home. And they flung that fucker like it went sky high from what she was telling me. When they hit it when they got a good lift on it with a broom or whatever they
Yeah,
used,
you got
and
like
it was
you got a good
yeah.
shovel with it. Got a little,
Mhm.
yeah, a little slap
So,
shot.
but
Well, it's funny
just
you use that. It's funny you use that. Okay, it's funny you got that one story because it sounds like a hockey story. So we did
it
our catering
does.
company. Our catering company catered for a guy named Ed Snyder. Okay, EDSNYDER. If Justin's our fact checker, check him out. He used to own the Sixers and the Flyers. I think he owns a huge chunk of Comcast. The dudes, it was used to be
Damn.
the Spectrum, all that. Dude's loaded, all right? He owned all the stuff. Now, hockey was our game. I was not a basketball guy, even though basketball was cool. I like football, but I wasn't an Eagles guy. But
Mhm.
something hometown wise, Philadelphia Flyers, that was my jam. I bled orange and black. I was all about it. I was all up in it. Okay. So
You weren't chilling out, maxing out, shooting some hoops till a couple
no,
of guys.
since the pool
Oh,
when a couple in the school try to make trouble in my neighborhood. No, I got one
yeah.
little fight. My mom, she got a little scared, but
Said you move with your auntie and uncle in
it's
Bel
not
Air.
my story. I wish that were my story because then I'd be rich in LA. Um, anyway,
Yeah, but then you'd
but
but then you'd have Jada.
but then I would have slapped Chris Rock, and that would have been shitty
That's
and not been
that
cool.
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have violated my NAP, my friend. All right,
Mhm.
so here we are. Um, so we're doing hockey was my big thing. Eric Lindros was the era, 89, 90, 92, like that. They were good, solid, but like they were up in the championship ring, but never actually won a championship. It's a weird thing, but they were good. Now, throughout the years, if people are familiar with hockey, Justin can look this up as well. But the guy named Paul Coffey used to play with a little team called the Edmonton Oilers. They only won like 4 Stanley Cups in the 80s with a little known guy named Wayne Gretzky. Paul Coffey
Mm-hmm.
has over 1,000 points as a defenseman. It's like one of the few defensemen that has 1,000 points in NHL. Anyway, what happens is with these really great teams is they'll get like some straggler old timer guy who's lived a life, who's just trying to get that one last one, you know. But Ray Bork is a really good example, except, you know, he was actually quality. He played like 5 decades or 4 decades of hockey in 4 different decades. And he ended up getting nothing with Boston, goes to Colorado and wins 1, right? So like he still earned it. Like Chris Pronger did the same thing when he moved around. Okay. So Paul Coffey comes to the Flyers. Now, Paul Coffey is a little old, you know, older, a veteran. Now, I don't know if you ever heard stories about Eric Lindros, Rod Brindamore, all this other stuff,
I have
but there
not.
are stories. Okay. I'm going to share one small one about between Eric Lindros and Brindamore. Now, hopefully this doesn't get us screwed up, but this is all alleged and not fact. I'm not going to state fact, but probably happened. So, Eric Lindros is very well known for getting concussions. Like his brother had like 8 and had to quit the league too. Eric Lindros said the same thing. One of those concussions allegedly happened because Eric Lindros slept with Rod Brindamore's wife. And they were in the back locker room, and Brindamore literally knocked him the fuck out. Like KTFO. Allegedly. Now, Rick Tocchet has shared some stories, John LeClaire, all these guys. Once again, there's a legend. I bet you might even be on the web search. You could probably web search it. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Lindros was okay. When you're the biggest person, always, I don't think you learn what it takes when you're not the biggest person. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
core things we had to learn because we weren't top dog. Like we had to learn courtesy and respect and earn our way up because like we didn't have it walking in. We didn't walk into a room with it. You know what I mean? So like if we ever got to a point where we got fame, there is a little more humility. Now we'd probably get fucked up too. Don't get me wrong. But on the way down, we'd probably recognize a lot quicker what's going on because we didn't just walk into that. You know what I mean? That wasn't like our
Mm-hmm.
life from some zero. When you're the biggest, fastest hockey player in the world. All right. So when you're the fastest hockey player or whatever, and then you get to the pond of big boys, you know what I'm saying? You're still a
Mm-hmm.
child in the head, but you're a fucking man child. We did catering for these guys. Eric Lindros, bunch of Flyers guys are all out there having. I think Roenick might even been around at that. I don't even remember. Mark Ricci. There were a bunch of guys. Anyway, Eric Lindros decides to get drunk and steals our fucking box truck. He fucking joyrides our box truck. Motherfucker steals the keys, jumps in the fucking catering box truck, and takes off. Now, these hockey players are nothing if not just rambunctious and fun. They're just fun guys, okay? They're literal fun people. But
Sounds
goddamn,
like
do they fucking cause chaos. You're going to say
sounds
something?
very similar. Yes, that sounds very similar to my mom was with her sisters down the. I believe she was a few months pregnant with me too, but they were down in Covington. I forget where for something, but near the river, and Boomer Esiason, I mean, Bengals quarterback, 2 Super Bowls, right? Oh, I think he was on he was on the second one. Um, 2 Super Bowl appearances, I should say. They'll never win it, but uh, my mom and my aunts almost got drilled by him in his car because he was smashed. Like he was drunkard and shit, and like he pulled off, and he just got out laughing and laughing, thinking it's just hysterically funny. It's like so that's what it kind of sounds like the old boxcar joyride spin of old Eric Lindros. That's
Totally.
funny.
So it gets crazier though, because how they got him. Paul Coffey and like I think it might have been Chris Terrian or I think it was Chris Terrian. They get in the freaking Paul Coffey's Porsche and they chase him down and they basically run him off the road to get him to fucking stop, man. It's just like, I just imagine like Lindros is like almost like Hall of Fame adjacent. Like if he would have played longer and didn't get hurt or whatever as much, he probably would have been like right there. Imagine him out the door just flipping the fingers. He's driving like this big fucking box truck down the road. And Paul Coffey, who's won 4 Stanley Cups, like, get in, losers. We're chasing him down. And he fucking takes off in his Porsche and he's fucking hunting them down like around the streets of whatever. Dude, crazy. It's just the craziest stuff, man. We have so many fun stories. Anyway, so that was my biggest one, but it's just fun. It's good times. So, all right, man. Well, we've got 50 people on. Thank you so much for joining us. We're an hour in. Look, questions, bring them. Justin, questions, anyone, please. We welcome Zach. Zach has given his time. I was going to be here anyway. Megsy is crushing it at Mahjong right now. Mahjong Megsy is crushing it. Zach, I'm all alone. So Zach's real kind to share his time with me. If people have questions, please let us talk. All right, what do we got here?
Back in the day, before smartphones were everywhere, so we're everywhere. If I could
we're
talk,
everywhere, yeah.
So your craziness could be caught on camera. Those were the days. Yes, it was.
That's when you had stories. Like now you can tell a story and you can make it up. And hold on. Remember, like every story starts with like guy went down the street. Okay, Operation Dumbo Drop. Ready? Here we go. Yep. Operation Dumbo Drop. Village had elephant. Village lost elephant. Government delivered elephant. That's all that happened, right? Did it really happen the way where they're fucking jumping out of a goddamn airplane and they're fucking like parachuting down? Come on.
I believe it. I want to believe
I totally do. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like that's kind of the point of that. Like literally is the point. Like because now you can take a story and it starts like a seedling. And before you know it, it becomes this like somebody's got like a 30-minute presentation of how this one story happened. You know, it's pretty cool. It's probably cool about storytelling, you know.
I mean, speaking of, smartphones were around. I mean, you had the iPhone, you had the BlackBerry and all that.
We were the brick phone still with the car coil. That's the time era that we're talking about here.
Well, I'm going back to like 2011, and maybe it was 2010.
Oh, totally.
I have a story. And they were around. Yeah, but the smartphones weren't they weren't prevalent as they are now.
Till 2007 for sure. Yeah.
So like I have a story because I went with a bunch of drugged out homies of mine back in the day. Because one of his buddies was part of the show that was leading off into Little White, who was the headliner at the bar that was doing the concert. So Little White was coming on. And I actually got to smoke a cigarette with Little White. I could actually say I got to smoke a cigarette. It ended pretty quickly though, because him and his entourage got the fuck out of Dodge. I'll get to that reason in a second. But very fun. What was really cool is I turned 21 on that night. So I got to so I was already drinking and fucked up anyways, but I got to actually go and get my own alcohol legally. So that was cool. But at the end, we all were hanging around outside. We all were trying to like Little White stepped out for a little bit to hang out, smoking a cigarette. Everybody was congregating around him and just chilling. And all of a sudden you just hear like, what the fuck are you gonna do? And you turn around, there's this little skinny little white dude running this little cocksucker to this big old black guy, and they're getting into it. And then it's the black guy's getting into his truck, and then the white dude ends up pulling like a board out of the truck, and the black dude ends up getting out, and he's sitting there swinging, missing, thank God. And they just start and he knocks that board out of that little pipsqueak's hands and just starts beating the shit out of him. And this is all going on, and all I remember is like Little White's like, the cops are about to be here, man. I'm on PL. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And next thing you know, you just see Little White and all in his like with his entourage around him, like escorting him over to the Escalade and get him inside. And they end up getting the hell out of Dodge before the cops show up. And then these two guys are still going at it, and we're just sitting there like, such a good night, man. Just hysterical,
That's awesome.
that stupidity. But that, I mean, stories like that happens almost all the time now because of
All
the
the time.
smartphone.
All
Just
the
go to
time.
YouTube, bum fights.
Justin, we are going to get to this question in 1 second. Please stay tuned. But I wanted to share one more story before we get to that, because now we'll get into serious mode. This will be one of the fun ones, and we'll actually talk some actual real brass tacks here. So Justin knows Heather, my friend. Oh, there's two things, but let's do this one. Justin knows my friend Heather. We're talking about running into really crazy, strange people, famous people out of nowhere. Heather and I we're friends from back east. We actually found an apartment that had the same size like rooms, so we each got a room. We got like a 2-bedroom apartment. So she got the bedroom with like the walk-in closet, and I got a bedroom with like the walk-in bathroom or something with the whatever, and she took the middle bathroom or something. That's how we did it. Anyway, so it was early days. First month here, we went to Vegas early. So we're like, let's go to fucking Vegas. Whatever. We're here close driving. Got a ticket going 104, but I did 109 initially. But we won't talk about that. Statute of limitations and all. But Honda Civic DX, man, those little Honda Civics, they go really fast when you just keep foot on the ground, on the gas. They're quite zippy. Anyway,
They really are.
So we get there.
Same with the CRX.
Yes. Oh, yes. 100%. That is an underrated vehicle there. So we get there and we're hanging out, whatever. And back in the day, the Luxor, it still is, but the Luxor is a pyramid, basically. And the elevator is called a stepelator. It kind of actually goes up at an angle to each floor. It's pretty cool. And you go on the second floor, and the second floor is like all arcades, fast food, whatever. This is when I weighed like 300 pounds. So when I was like 300 pounds, a fat bastard. There's a picture of me on Facebook with Coolio, and I'll share it. And I just gave it away. Anyway, so walking up the stairs, we literally are in line. We were going to go to the Nathan's hot dog, but I'm like, let's go to McDonald's. So I think, and we walk up, and freaking Coolio is standing in line at the McDonald's. And I'm like, what? I look at my friend Heather, Justin knows her, and probably shared this one, right? And is like, it sticks to the road. It is like a go-kart. It's beautiful. I look at him and he's with a big motherfucker, like definitely security guard, right? And I look at him and I go, do you know who you are? And then I look at the big motherfucker and I go, does he know who he is? And then I go, what the fuck are you doing at McDonald's, bro? And he goes, keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
The realest, like we're talking about humility. The realest motherfucker was eating at a McDonald's at Luxor. You don't think he could have been in his fucking room and had that shit sent? No, he was out. And he was at the fucking Luxor. This is 2003, man. This is like, Coolio's still somebody at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously before. He's still somebody. And then he took a picture with me. Totally cool. But I'm a fat fuck in all my pictures. I'm fucking 250, 300 pounds in all my pictures. Can't look like this. No, I can't be fucking cool and svelte. No, all my good pictures are when I'm fat. Thanks a lot, everybody. I don't even look like me. Son of a bitch. Now I'm angry. So first car. Read this one and then we'll get into Trump, my friend. Let's do this.
Justin says my first car at 16 was a 92 CRX, which I think that's what my parents. I think we had a 91 or a 92. Good cars. Loved that car. It was like driving a big version of a go-kart. Funny you say that, Justin. We gave up. My parents gave the CRX up to my my cousin, and within a week, he blew that fucking engine out. It was done. He decided to raced a Mustang with it, and he blew it up.
He probably granny shifted too. He probably kept the foot on the, or he probably kept the foot on the gas between.
Yeah. I know he granny shifted it.
Or
So,
what is that? Speed shift and granny shift? Is that no? Which one is it? What's the one where you keep the foot on the gas?
well, no, I don't think he did because it was an auto. Ours was an automatic.
Oh, it's an
So,
auto. Okay, but
yeah.
still,
So
you still
my
drive it like
mom could do
crazy.
it. Yeah, my mom could do a stick, but she had dyslexia. So, uh, hmm,
All right, it's business time, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to it. It looks. Let me try this for a second. Let me see that. How does that look? Oh, that looks awful. Let's not
that
do.
does look awful. That's
Oh,
a little
we're gonna.
too close up.
Whoa,
Ooh,
whoa, whoa! Oh my god. Okay, I'm not doing that again. We have vertigo already. All right. So just Zach, please ask. We're back in
so
serious mode, everybody. All right, get online. We've got over 50
is it?
people. They're listening. We've got questions. Go.
If it's Trump, it's probably not that serious. But then again, it is. So, is Trump going to go ahead and be pulled fully into into this Iran war, or is he going to figure out some way to thread the needle, stay out of the war directly, and pull off some crazy resolution? That is a good question, actually. That is a good question.
All right, let's start with that. So, Zach, what are your thoughts on what's going on? So,
Hmm.
last Friday, it's funny. I brought this up. Freedom Fest is when the shit hits the fan everywhere. Like 100
It is.
libertarians, 200 libertarians leave, and the whole world goes to shit. Okay, last year we had Vegas, and during Vegas was a Butler incident with Trump, the shooting. So we decided, hey, let's move it up a month. We can't mess with fate again. So we move it up a month, and Israel bombs freaking Iran on Friday during Freedom Fest. Like,
Friday the
it's like when
13th.
good thinkers get out of the loop, like everything goes to crap. So, all right. So please share your thoughts on this Trump thing. Right now, we've got Trump
Mm,
B-2 bombers, by the way. I can't verify, but from what I have heard, they are stationed now in Israel. The
mm-hmm.
B-2 bomber is the problem with Israel is they do not have the biggest bombs, nor the delivery system for those bombs. We now have confirmation from visual sources once again, not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
The B-2 bomber is the delivery system needed for the big bombs. So the
Yep.
assumption is that because the B-2s are there, the bombs are going along with them. So that's what
Yep.
I'm at right now. Right. Obviously, they struck back. We've seen some hypersonics that look like lightning. How fast do those things come in now? Holy
Yeah.
crap. Right. All right.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. That's where we laid it out. Trump's once again, he's talking tough. He's saying, we can't have him have a nuclear weapon, all this stuff. So, Zach, what are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on where we'll get pulled in?
Trump is one of those that you just can't put a finger on it because at one end he's and we actually talked a little bit about this on the World Blockchain Roundtable during our current events
Yeah, and
early
hey,
today.
plug
So
that before you continue. The world, tell us how to get a hold of that.
yeah, World Blockchain Roundtable. You can find it every Thursday on YouTube and X at 11 a.m. live. Go back to it on YouTube, Dragon Chain, Den.social channels. You can find it on. Typically, um, I run it on the Legacy, right? So, and then whoever else is on it, like Litecoin Lisa and Satoshi Sean, will have it running on their streaming on their channels as well. So, but World Blockchain Roundtable, you can check that out every Thursday at 11. But anyways, like when it comes to Trump, it it's very hard to distinguish on if he's legitimately and completely in bed with the so-called deep state or the intelligence apparatus, or if he is trying his damnedest to not go against his base and but not piss off all the bureaucrats. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know
100.
what this might. Yeah, I don't know what this might happen. What might happen out of this? There's also a chance that we're just gonna do exactly what. Because Israel, unlike Ukraine, Israel would have the pilots that actually could fly these things because we've been giving them our shit for years.
They also had at
Um,
least one shot down that
mhm,
they don't even talk
yeah,
about. There was at least one F-35 shot
exactly.
down, from my understanding, and the
Yeah.
pilot
So
was captured, if I recall.
was it?
I
Yeah.
think so.
I'd be one. I'm wondering if it was. I'd assume probably Israeli. maybe
Yeah, it was.
American.
It
I
was.
don't know.
Oh, it
It
was
was.
a
Yeah, it
United
was
States
allegedly.
allegedly hasn't actively flown or a
Well,
sortie or
yeah.
anything. Allegedly,
Hmm.
but let's be honest.
It's it's our
This was a
planes.
Pearl Harbor-like attack. One could argue
Hmm.
from a reasonable, nonpartisan, non-biased perspective.
Yep.
There were the guys of peace treaty negotiations from the United States while this offensive attack was happening, or
Yep.
while they took this on. So
Yep.
once again, kind of a puss move, in my opinion. I mean,
Oh yeah.
just just on all facets of like just on that alone, it's like,
Hmm.
wow, that was a really sneaky little shit move, wasn't it? That's like a cut. That's
Yeah.
like a sneaky
What?
cuttlefish kind of move, you know.
Hmm.
So
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna come out. I mean, the fact of the matter is it doesn't seem like it really. It to be brutally honest, it does not seem like Donald Trump wants to go against his own base and his own rhetoric, but he may be forced. His hand might be forced to do it.
good
So
point.
I
So
mean,
yeah, this is my thought on it. I don't think Donald Trump wants war,
I don't either. I really
but
don't either.
and I think he likes to make deals. I do.
Hmm.
But the last thing he likes to do is lose. He does not like to lose. Okay. He
That is
loses
true as
face.
well.
He look, the Tulsi Gabbard just had from the actual director of national intelligence has Iran has zero nuclear capability and are not even close up until March. They've had
Hmm.
March, even March. There was a whole thing where it's just been exposed. They have not had nuclear capability since I'm going to say 2003 or 2007.
Hmm.
The whole reason was because we took out Iraq and replaced them with Iran's friends, the
Yeah.
Shias. Like
Yeah.
people don't even know. People do not know the story. Are you ready? This is
Hmm.
how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna go Sunni and Shia because those are the only two really when we're talking the fighting part, right?
Yeah. Kurds up
Yeah.
north.
Kurt's right. They're
Yeah.
also included, but it's kind of like the libertarians of this group. Like, let's be honest. Like they
Except for
kind of
more
swing the
violent.
vote one way or another, but they don't really have their own power. I don't know. I don't mean any
Yeah.
to belittle the Kurds. All right. So the Sunnis
Uh.
were the Sunnis were Saddam Hussein. They were the minority. The Shias in Iraq were the
Are
majority,
the.
but they were being held down, whatever you want, dictated by
Hmm.
the Sunni minority. The Shias are the majority population in Iran also.
Hmm.
When the Iran-Iraq war was happening, it was the Sunnis of Iraq fighting the Shias of Iran. It wasn't Shia versus Shia per se, but it's basically the two heads, okay?
Hmm.
America comes in thanks to Bibi saying, well, you must get rid of regime change in Iraq because they have weapons of mass destruction. I haven't heard this before. It's totally different, Zach. This one's totally different, though. No, you don't even understand. It's not even
Hmm.
close to the same as all. It's totally different. So he goes in and does his thing. We remove the Sunni people. And then what do? We have democracy. We bring in democracy, Zach. And what does Ben
Hmm.
Franklin talk so highly of democracy? Two wolves and a lamb. So
Hmm.
guess who used to be the majority, not the majority, but they used to be in power was the Sunnis. Now they are the minority. Guess who takes over? The Shia. Guess who they're affiliated with? Iran. We just
Hmm.
did all that shit to give Iran back to Iraq. We gave Iraq to Iran. We just
Which
handed it to
tells.
them
Yeah.
after all that shit we did, all those lives, 1.5 million. Ask
Hmm.
fucking brooch bitch, that fucking Madeleine Albright bitch. Ask her with her
Hmm.
fucking brooch. Was it worth it? Yeah. All those millions of fucking deaths were worth it.
It
No,
was. Well, it wasn't
no.
worth it on in reality, but it was worth
All
it
right,
to their talking point, their
right.
narrative, because it
All of it.
destabilizes the area. It's
Right.
all
So
about
now,
destabilization. For yeah.
yeah. So here we go. So that's a beautiful thing. So that's where we're at there, right? Now, on the other side, Syria has its own civil war. Tulsi Gabbard's like, we shouldn't do Syria. No, we should.
Mm-mm.
No, let's help. So
And
we
to
helped
add
Israel
about
bomb.
the
Go ahead.
to add about Syria and Iraq, both of them were governed by the Ba'ath Party, very secular. Yes, they were Sunni. Saddam was I don't know if he was a truly practicing Muslim,
No, but
but
obviously, and they use
he was a
religion.
Muslim.
Right. They might use
Hmm.
religion as the tool to get their means, but the means is they want to run. They want to run the country.
Hmm.
They want to rule.
Yeah.
Rulers want to rule. They'll use whatever fucking thing it is,
Hmm.
whether it's religion or anything, to
Yeah.
rule. Right?
Like Bashir al-Assad and his father before him,
Yes.
secular, very secular
Secular.
government. Yeah.
Right. So what do? So in the 90s, we globalized bin Ladenism to the point where they attack us on 9/11 and Bill Clinton goes, I don't understand why they're attacking us. I don't get it. We're such good friends with
Oh,
those people because they were bombing fucking Iraq the whole time. That's why.
yep. No fly
Whatever.
zone.
Okay. So now, then 9/11 happens. This motherfucker's dancing in the street. I'm like so fucking on 11 right now. This motherfucker's dancing in the street, and we put a $10 million bounty on this guy's head. And who is he now? He's the leader of Syria in a suit. He trades in his turban and his bomb vest for a fucking suit.
Fucking suit. Yep.
And now he looks great to Trump. Looks like a great guy. And I'm sorry. I'm at my, I tried being fucking graceful to these people, but he's a fucking car salesman, our orange fucking leader. He's nothing but a fucking cheap, used fucking car salesman. And I'm not buying his fucking piece of shit jalopy
Condom.
anymore. I'm done. How about
He's
that?
He's a cheap used demon-filled condom.
He's there to sell this fucking war. They knew he would win. They're selling this war. He's the only one because Kamala wouldn't have the fucking balls. No one would follow her. They needed this shit to happen. So then again, so now Al-Qaeda owns Syria. That's our direct enemy that we funded, and ISIS while we fight Iran. We use ISIS and Iraq and Al-Qaeda to fight Iran. So those now own Syria. Iran's allies own Iraq. We were in all those and Taliban owns Afghanistan. Those are the countries we invaded. Those are the countries. What happened after all the American deaths? Kids are eating fucking barrels daily, 22 a day, right? Still 22 a day doing this.
Yep.
For what? Just tell me for what? Like, if anything was good about America, tell me that did anything for America? So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Like,
Afghanistan was for big pharma and the opium.
And I share that with you, right? So isn't it funny? Look at the timeline of that. The military comes in to protect the opium fields for fucking Sackler and the fucking Purdue people, who are, by the way, right on this $1 billion lawsuit. And the guy, one of the guys whose like literal life was ruined is going to get $3,500. He's going to get $3,500 because one of those lawsuits, you know, those class action where the lawyer gets a third, 2/3 anyway, right? After litigation, get the fuck out of here. It's such bullshit, right? So we protect
and nothing's going to change.
Right. We protect the poppy fields of natural opium. Opium goes to shit, gets replaced by synthetics. Now there's no market for it, right? What do we need? Oh, we got COVID in a lab. Let's just fucking stop doing this over here. Let's fucking shift to COVID. What a great idea. The military goes, what the fuck? We're not going to be left holding the bag. We're a complex too. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Afghanistan, we're just going to leave this shit here because we're going to make new shit and send it over to Ukraine. We're going to tell General Milley to not take it with us because it costs more to take it with us than to leave it there while they have fucking parades with our equipment. The shit you and I paid for, man. We get taxed every fucking day to give them weapons, the fucking enemy, and I'm the bad guy for saying we don't want war. Like, are you kidding me? What fucking world are we living in? Like, okay,
we're living in post-Sovietism, and it's just the same way that the Soviet Union left Afghanistan. They did the same thing. They left their equipment. We were fighting these goat fuckers with Soviet weapons and Soviet tanks, and then now they have American everything. Right. So it's just basically history repeating itself, and that's what's
really
sad.
Is. Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Justin just talked me off the ledge. Go ahead and share that real quick.
I think you're downplaying that. That's $3,500 cash money. Money.
Bet it all on red or black, whatever you want, man. All right. This Juneteenth, I will bet it all on black. All right.
I don't think
I want
he
to
is
share that
in
one
bed
too
with the
before I
deep
continue on the
state.
rant, because
Yeah.
I do want to share this. I do have a point, but I just started channeling something because I lost my mind.
So Justin says the same thing. I don't think he is in bed with the deep state. I do think he is caught up between three core beliefs of his. One, U.S. support for Israel, $200 million. Two, and Miriam Anderson. Two, Iran can't have a nuke. And three, his desire for peace over war. And two, I'm going to add, two, there was a deal. Oh, it was under Obama, whether you want to like it or not. There was a deal, and that got ripped to shreds. So, what do you put yourself in Iran's shoes? Are you really going to negotiate every 4 years? I would say no. Why would you renegotiate every 4 years on a deal? You had a deal, and then it got ripped to shreds. So that you got to put yourself in Iran's shoes on that one. So, and then his desire for peace over war.
Let's take a step back on nuclear, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that the United States pulled out of the Minsk II Accords. I think it was whatever for the it was the anti-ballistic treaty. I'm sorry, the anti-ballistic missile treaty.
Yeah,
it was during that time the United States pulled out. So then Russia's like, well, we don't have anything left to like hold our standard to, so we'll just make more. Right?
Yeah.
Well, just think about that. Okay, Iran and people. I'm gonna give my hand up because I'm working on a debate with a gentleman who you saw him on Facebook reply to some stuff. Anyway, I'll share it with you offline, but I don't want to share the guy's name yet because I'm happy to platform this guy, but I'm honestly not concerned. Like I'm so on the right, like we're so on the right side of this. But anyway, 2000. Okay, during the IAEA, they were making 3%. And Trump didn't like that it had Obama's name on it. Trump likes to have his fucking name on it, like he likes his name on a building. So he ripped it up because he said we're gonna have a bigger, better nuclear deal. Like let's not kid ourselves.
Beautiful.
Everything's bigger, better bill, bigger, better nuclear. It's gonna be great. It's be the greatest nuclear, the best nuclear non-proliferation in the world. Whatever, go whatever.
Yep.
All right. So it's gonna be the greatest. It really was. No joke. That's what he wanted to do, but it hasn't happened. Iran is no longer held to the 3%. They're now at 60%, to which Israel and everybody's like, they're at 60%. They're going to do it. They're doing it because you stop fucking having standards. So they're like, I don't have a rule to live to. Why the fuck would I live to your rule? Why would I self-impose a rule? Why would I self-impose a fucking rule that doesn't help with my sovereignty as a nation?
Moral relativism or cultural relativism. It's just it sways between. There's no set standard, so why do I need to agree to something that there's no standard for?
Why would you? Then you have once you bring it back in, then you have to go down. Okay, now that's one thing. Number two, okay, hey, do me a favor, Zach. Did you know? Do you know is Israel part of the non-nuclear proliferation treaty?
Never was.
Okay. Do you know if Iran is part of the non-nuclear proliferation treaty?
That I do not know, but I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. It's great. Now, remind me again, which country has how many nuclear weapons and which country doesn't have nuclear weapons?
For Israel, it is a legend that they have anywhere from, I think, 40 to like 200 nukes, I think, from the last time I read it. Alleged.
Yeah. Alleged. Now, let us be clear. Now, this is something people do not know, and I don't know, Justin. I'm only going to say your name, sir. This isn't to point you out. This is only to show like where people find information. Maybe you saw this. Maybe you did. Okay, and I'm going to pull this up. Okay. Ask anyone in Israel like that. Has any power? A spokesman. Representative, an elected official, whatever, representative. Ask them if they have nuclear weapons. You got another cat issue?
Oh no,
A
he wanted out.
catastrophe?
He got trapped in the studio with me.
Uh-oh.
He
In the
wanted
studio
out.
with Zach. Oh my God, that's such a great name. In the studio with Zach is such a great name. Anyway,
Mm.
so this is what happened. So I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, so
Oh,
ask
so
an Israeli if they have nuclear weapons. They'll either stop the interview, or they'll call you an anti-Semite, or they'll say, we don't know. I don't know if we have any. They'll like literally say, I don't know if we have any. Now, you can talk all you want, Justin, about never going to hold to standards. Their goal always been a nuclear weapon. We can talk that all day, but I actually can tell you that that's not true. And let me ask you this. Would you, who's less honorable? Okay. The guy
both.
cheating on while he's part of this nuclear proliferation, or the guy that's like, I'm not even going to fucking participate. I'm not even going to be part of that. Who do you think's more trustworthy? Just ask yourself that one question. Like, do you trust the guy who's willing to join it, or the guy who's refused to be a part of it?
Well, I'd have to. I mean, in consideration that Islam historically, culturally, religiously is not good.
I think
Both.
there's danger.
They're
Yes.
they're both
100.
very dangerous. Zionism, Israel. I mean, I mean, half of the Islamic radicals, which I don't even consider them radicals. The radicals are the fucking moderates because they're going against the Quran. They actually are cherry picking in order to get away from all the violence. But
Hold on.
half of the radicals.
Christians do it too. Hold
Oh,
on.
Christians,
Let's
yeah,
hold
Christians
on.
do it too as well.
I
There
would
are.
like to argue. I'd like to argue that all of this is geopolitical at this point. All of
At
this
this
is
point,
king-making
this
and
is
nation building.
geopolitical.
None of
Hmm.
this is religious. I know that sounds weird to some people, but really the heads of the states aren't fucking religious.
Oh no.
They want to be nation leaders, man. They want to be at the top. Come on.
Yes, at this point, like politics it's a mess to everything. So it's all
Right.
political.
And
But
they'll
you also
use
have
the
to look at a
religion as
cultural
the
standard.
thing, but it still is the geopolitics of it. That they want
Hmm.
power. They want greater Israel wants a greater Israel. PLO, remember, they wanted to get rid of Israel. Remember when they had that little map on
Hmm.
their little patch? Okay. They all fucking hate each other. All right.
The thing about that, Justin, yeah, the Ayatollah is technically is the
Yeah.
spiritual leader,
Yes.
basically the supreme leader.
Yes. But
But
you
I
don't think
mean,
that Israel has some kind of theocracy in some way? Non-Jews in Israel
mm,
are second-class citizens, aren't they? They don't have the same
for the
rights,
most part, yeah.
right? And that's just fact. I'm not against Jewish people or the Jew. Like this is not.
Hmm.
This is literally looking at how people get pulled in. Now, long story short, it could happen a lot of ways. Trump could get sucked in because Israel just did it. I think they did
Hmm.
it assuming Trump would jump in. Trump just didn't fall for it.
Hmm.
So right now, he's everyone who supported him is screaming at him. They're saying, you will be in the top 3 worst presidents in history if you do this. If you do this, you will be in the likes of Woodrow Wilson. Ew. Ew. And like Lincoln. Good guys, not good stuff.
Well, I mean,
I know
at the
Lincoln's
same time,
cool,
who
but
is it out of his base is saying that? The ones that voted for him because they thought he was the lesser of two evils, or his
right.
actual base?
Right. But
Because I think
remember,
his actual.
his base didn't vote him in.
Oh
He
no.
needed all of us. He needed
Yeah.
libertarians. He needed all those other votes. He needed the people, the left them, all those people. He still needed them to
Hmm.
vote. All those RFK votes, those all became Trump. So he's
Hmm.
beholden to a little bit of these people. Now, he did
Hmm.
Angela solid. He did the libertarians a solid, freed Ross. Okay, great. That's one guy. Can we not start a war? I don't want to see one child. I don't want to see one soldier get killed in this. For
Mm.
no, this will not help us. Will not help us.
Mm-hmm.
It just won't.
I
Okay, so
honestly think
go
I
ahead,
think
go ahead.
this is a distraction because what's moving in right now is you have the Genius Act that's looming, and that is effectively that's Patriot Act 3.0 because you got the two Patriot Acts. I mean the NDA, yeah, the National Defense Authorization Act was an extension off of the second Patriot Act. So the Genius Act goes even further into the auspices of crypto. And I think there's a correlation, in my opinion, towards what's going on with the Israel and the Iran thing as a distraction with the Genius Bill. I'm
I
thinking that
agree. I want to go ahead and read that. I want to address that and then kind of talk a little bit about what you just said.
I don't think he wanted to start the war. The best of intentions and well laid plans don't always get you what you wanted.
One phone call, Justin. One phone
That is
call from
true.
Donald Trump to Bibi saying, "You're on your own, buddy. I'm telling you, they cannot sustain this. I know their actual defenses
Mm-mm.
are already running low. They
Yeah.
are actually in a lot of trouble. They have zero manufacturing capability. They require the United States. They really do. And I
Mm-hmm.
do not want to see any Israeli person hurt. None,
Mm.
none. But
But at
they're
the
the ones
same
playing with
time,
fire. And one phone call from Donald Trump would be
yeah.
like, I will not be involved in this war. You need to sit down now. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I don't know how that wouldn't, I don't know
That
how
would
that
change
wouldn't,
things. Yeah.
right. I don't know how that wouldn't be a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Look,
Just
you're right. The point is, I here it is. Here's my analogy. Sovereign nations, guys, non-aggression principle. Two things. North Korea has a nuclear weapon. Have you seen them launch it on a single enemy of theirs? And they are border with their biggest enemy. I
mm-hmm.
think they're called I can't remember what direction. East Korea, West Korea,
Oh,
right?
South
Which
Korea.
one is I can't remember which
Uh,
Korea it is. It's one of those direct Southeast Korea, so I forget.
Southeast
North
something, yes.
North by
South
Northwest
Korea.
Korea.
North by
So
Northwest. I think it's just called Korea.
Korea,
They,
sure.
yeah,
So
they claim
so
it.
like okay, I haven't seen one launched. No offense, I haven't seen it.
No.
Okay, number
When
2.
you do see a launch, it's a
Well, it's to
test
test
to
something,
get
but it's
money.
not with the warhead fucking on it. I mean, it's for the
No.
missile to be tested or something.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
they're using it as a threat so that they get more money because
There's
that's how
rattle
they
sabering too, right?
yeah.
Like, let's not
Yep.
kid ourselves. But there's not a
That's
nuclear.
their
If they do a
economy.
nuclear test or something, but they don't actually. They've not fired on a neighbor to be like, let's
No.
blow you up. Okay, so we know
Mhm.
that. Number 2, there's this country, Libya.
Oh, I will say they
Oh,
have actually fired over Japan like
they
years
have,
ago.
but
So
I don't think it had a nuclear weapon in it. I don't
it
think it was
probably
armed. I
didn't.
think it was the you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Mhm.
I don't think they're that fucking I don't think anybody be
No,
that
I
because
don't think they're
let's
I
be
don't think
honest,
they're
we know
stupid.
when nuclear weapon goes off, everybody's fucking dead. Everybody's dead because we're all
Well, I
launching it.
mean, yeah.
It's gonna
Well,
be we're gonna be
you
watching
know what they
trails going across all over.
you know what they got in that deal, right?
No, what's that? Yeah.
Foreign aid.
That's sweet, sweet cash. And that's true. Okay, so that's Korea, North Korea. Then there's a country called Libya. A few years
Mhm.
ago, Libya was the dominant country in Africa. It was going to have a gold standard money, a currency system called the Afro. Do you remember that? It was going to break
Mhm.
away from the United States. It was really putting a thorn in the side of Hillary Clinton and Obama and all their little plans. Okay.
Mhm.
So in the 80s, shit was going on, blah, 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 back and forth. Beirut, Berlin, all this shit. The F-111s with Reagan
Mhm.
fucking dropping bombs. I remember that. The General Dynamics
Oh,
F-111. I
before
remember.
I cut you off,
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
about
No,
the
go.
North Koreas.
Oh, this
Yeah,
one. Yeah, go
he's
ahead.
got a point. North
No,
Korea will do what China tells them. China kind of keeps them at bay because China doesn't want
right. But once
anything to
again,
talk off.
North Korea does know that using it is to all its peril. I mean, let's not kid her. This is
Mhm.
like silly to think. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you don't think like the guy just snaps? He's like, "Fuck China," boom. Like he could, right? Like that's what psychopaths do.
He could, but honestly, I think before he had a chance to, China would just launch their own nuke, destroy North Korea. Nobody
There
would
you
do anything.
Perfect. There
Honestly.
you go. Perfect. Yeah, and South Korea get all the fallout.
So
And we all would.
yeah.
No, excellent point. I'll even concede that. I will concede that point.
Mhm.
But they haven't launched one. China also has them. Oh, Soviet Union, Russia have them.
Mhm.
Oh, there's only one country ever that's used a nuclear weapon on any population. I wonder. I gotta guess.
It
You know,
was
my head's
it was Israel, right? The Soviet Union? No, it
Come
was
on,
America.
let's not. No. 999999999.
It
No,
was Germany, I knew it.
it was Germany, 100%. Those bastards. Okay, so
Those
United States.
bastards bombing their own allies, the Japanese.
There you go. All right, so there we are. Now Libya starts to break away.
Mhm.
America don't like it too much. They start making a nuclear program. Why? Actually, so they can shut it down and show that they are part of the world, that they want to be part
Mhm.
of the world and the globe. So shut it down, Muammar Gaddafi. You got it. Let me shut down my nuclear weapon. Remind me again, Zach, what happened to that young gentleman who shut down his nuclear program?
Oh, he did.
He did. Remember
He
how it
did.
happened? You remember? Bayonets up the ass? Got
Oh,
sodomized by
oh yeah,
bayonets
that's right. Yeah. By his own guard.
by his
They
own
had his
guards.
yeah.
And Hillary gets the news and she has her first orgasm in her history of her lifetime. She didn't get wet. She got a little moist, I think, but not wet. It's just a little shtickle, just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But she's like, we got him. We came. We saw. He died. And then
Benghazi happened.
she's been dry since. Absolutely dry as a bone since.
Especially in 2016.
Oh, and then Vince Foster. Wait, then she got a little wet again, and then it was Haiti. Hold on, she did get the tingles during Haiti, during the whole Haiti
She
thing,
did.
sex trafficking.
She did.
Yo, I need to tinkle, man. Can you hold this show? Can you hold the fort down while I go tinkle?
Will do.
You do, brother.
I'm gonna sing a song, everybody. So what? Yeah. Anyways, Justin, throw in something, or anybody else that wants to. So let's or I can just hold it down. I don't really want to. This is kind of depressing. So while he's tinkling, let's just let's find some music here. I'm gonna let's do some music. I wonder if it'll come out of my phone. Oh, okay, actually. Wonder if he has this, actually. I'm boring everybody. So, well, I can't put it on the screen, but Justin says Gaddafi's nuclear program was not actually fully functional. And why would it be if it was all pretty much for show, honestly? I mean, it got shut down. They made it. It was just easy to shut it down, exactly. So, I mean, it was there to show the world that hey, we can comply. We can comply. We're not here to start anything. We want peace. We want to be prosperous. We want peace. We want to voluntarily uh, contribute amongst other nations. We want to work with each other. And then all of a sudden, you now have sex trafficking and slavery all over the place in Libya. That's where we're at now because of how destabilized and how just divided Libya has become because of what we our coalition did in our little colored revolution. I don't even think, I wouldn't even call it. It was an all-out war, really. We caused an actual civil war.
Yeah, I
But
mean, well, we also did the Civil War in Iraq. I mean, we caused the Civil War in Iraq
yeah,
for the fight for
yeah,
power
but
after we went in there. Remember Mission Accomplished?
hmm
One
well,
Mission
yeah,
Accomplished
but
1.0.
that was the after effect, though. So like the sectarian violence came after the United States and and our coalition invaded and then occupied, whereas Libya was sort of, I mean, it was set up, it was co-opted to be behind, just under the veil, so to speak, like the
Libya
Wizard of
had
Oz.
threatened the petrodollar, Justin.
Hmm
I know what you're
Well, so did
correct.
Iraq.
Right, not fully functional.
Hmm
He just shut down. I totally get that. I'm going to put these three on the screen just so we have them. Couldn't successfully create it, shut it down. I totally get that. But there's a bigger, broader picture to that. Look, there's other 2 points. We knew when China was going to develop it, and we didn't want China to have it. Did you start a war with China? We didn't start a war with China. We knew the
I think
Soviet
back,
Union.
yeah.
Even Eisenhower's like, fuck no. No, we are not going a war with fucking Soviet Union over Stalin acquiring the nuclear weapon. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm just saying
No.
this is Mao and Stalin getting their nuclear weapons. I'm sorry. Do you know the name of the leader of Iran off the top of your head without Googling it? Because I honestly don't. I know it's the
Ayatollah
Ayatollah something.
Khamenei. I
Is it
believe it's
Khamenei?
Khamenei.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, because you've had a Khomeini and you've had a Khamenei, right? But you're saying like
Yep.
we're talking about the average Joe. It reminds you. I mean, it's a question like the Ted Cruz question. What?
hmm
How many? What's the population of Iran? The question is so simple and it sounds dumb, but it's not dumb, guys. We're talking about the lives of 92 million people. And if he doesn't even know how many people are in the country or make up the country,
You've never
what
been
other
there.
things has he not studied about the country to know whether he should fucking be there or not?
hmm
I mean, does it make any sense?
I didn't even realize there was 92 million. I mean,
Yeah,
I would never guess that many. That's
yeah.
a lot of people in that
That's
country.
a
Yeah, I know it's
oh,
large,
I
but it's
mean,
mainly desert and plains.
right. It's approaching 100 million people,
But
everybody.
hmm
It's
I think
75 times the size of Israel.
yeah. I think Tehran, I think by itself is like 10 million.
Yeah,
The
Tehran itself
capital.
is
Yeah.
yeah, that's correct. It's
So
10 million on its own. And remember, we're talking about Israel as a whole is what? 8 to 10 million, right? Like 10 million.
about
So
8 to
one
10, maybe
city.
9.
Yeah, one city. And I talk causality as well. This didn't happen October 7th. Didn't happen 79. Didn't happen 67. I don't want to I'm not even going to go back to creation. I will go back to 1953. A mere 5 years
Mm,
into the creation of the nation state of Israel. The
yeah.
CIA, that's you and I. That's you and
10
me.
million.
We, before they set up killing President Kennedy, possibly with Israel, possibly.
A lot
Allegedly,
of possibly had something to do with Israel's denial of their nuclear program.
yes, that's exactly
I
what Kennedy was getting
yeah,
killed for, was Israel was creating a
I had
nuclear
a
program from all the stolen secrets from us.
Mossad.
Ta-da! Yay, you're welcome, everybody. Yeah, they
Hmm
have approximately, to your point, I remember 90 like a year ago, but allegedly it's up to 200, possibly 200. And when you ask them, they will not admit it. They won't say they have it, but they have a thing. Have you heard of the Samson option, Zach?
Yep, named
Yeah, tell
after
me,
the
do
great
me a
judge
favor. Everyone
Samson.
Google that right now. Everyone go on their web searchers, type in Samson, Samson option. Go ahead and look that up. Tell me about that, Zach. What would you like to share about that?
Well, Samson was a judge with immense strength, unless you cut his ponytail off. And he destroyed one of the most prestigious of the Philistine temple. That's sort of where you get. So you have Samson, the toughest and the baddest of the bad from the Book of Judges, and that's where you get the name, the Samson option, which is because what it leads, he effectively ended up dying himself because he was in the middle of Philistine. So he destroys their most prestigious temple and takes out a bunch of people with him with his brute strength, but at the same time, he sacrifices himself. Go to the Samson option, what it's named for. The idea is if Israel is backed in a corner, they will use nukes. They will launch it towards Europe, Russia,
Everyone.
everywhere. They will annihilate the whole earth, and it will take themselves out.
They will end it for whatever reason. If not
Everyone.
them, then nobody. I've seen it. I've seen the paperwork. I've talked to people actually who like have talked to people. You know what I mean? Like pretty deep. It ain't
Hmm.
pretty. They're like, don't worry. Oh, guys, we have one of those too, by the way. I don't know if you know we have that. You ever heard the continuation of government?
Hmm.
By the way, the second they talk about that, it was brought up actually a few congressional hearings ago under the Butler hearing, the Secret Service.
Yeah.
That lady, that dummy, she says continuation of government. But we're so past like people not giving a shit anymore. People don't even pass by what's said anymore. They're not even listening. I'll
Hmm.
get to your point too, your Ted Cruz in a second there, Justin. But I just want to finish this point about this point. So Samson option is if it ain't us, everybody, right? So once again I just lost my point. Crap. I had a good one too. Oh, darn it. That's all right. Let's continue.
Yeah.
I can't believe I lost my point on that.
I think the point you were making was, yeah, Israel has that option to destroy us all. The United States has their option. Every country
Oh yeah, the
has
continuation of
has
government.
that
Thank you.
option.
Okay.
Yep.
There's this cool documentary. It's like a documentary series. You can look it up. It's called While the Rest of Us Die. It's literally it's shock. It's like a shock jockey thing, but basically it's about the continuation of government. Our continuation of government has a thing. We just need to have a couple people to reprocreate. As long as everybody else is gone, that's all we need for us to restart. That's kind of how I know that's a
Hmm.
super reductionist version of it, but that's basically what that is. There is a force
Hmm.
with the bunkers and with the food and with the whatevers that are protected that will be going when there's a catastrophe of some sort. It's real.
Well, there's actually a mansion or a hotel, or at least at one point it was a hotel, where underneath, in somewhere in the like in Virginia, I don't know if it's near the
I've
Shenandoahs or
been there.
whatnot.
I've been
There you
there.
go. You know what I'm talking about.
Xerox rents it. It
Yep.
used to be a Virginia underground bunker. It's crazy. Anyway, go
And
ahead.
there, yeah,
Please,
it's all
please continue
bunkers.
sharing though. Go ahead.
No, it's literally a bunker underneath it. I actually remember watching it on Cities of the Underworld. He did
And you
it.
get lost in that fucking
So,
place. It
yep.
has the worst maps. Like you figure it out like 3 days into a conference.
Hmm.
I went there one time. I had the blessing to go because you rent it out for other people. But dude, the cafeteria, all that, you're like, what was this built for? And you're like, oh, I get
Hmm.
it.
They
Yep.
got bunks down there. They have
Their hotel. It's like a hotel.
offices.
It's like an underground
Yeah,
hotel. It's pretty.
yeah. Oh no, yeah. Like underground, it's more than just a hotel. It's actually where the government will function.
Right, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
underground, it actually has like the hotel rooms and everything is like built
Mm-hmm.
also the same like underground. It's like an actual hotel with it's you got your own room and stuff. I remember because that's where I went. It's
Yeah. I
crazy.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's wild. That would be
it
awesome to
is.
go there.
Hey, you want
Mm-mm.
to share this one?
Ted Cruz looked awful in that interview, but it was a gotcha question for sure. Sure, the population matters, but you can be against the regime and not want harm on the people. At least you say that. Yeah.
I ask you this. Did you watch the rest of it? Before
Mm-mm.
before you make that comment, all we saw was a gotcha question. I started watching it. Tucker was very kind. Very kind. I think he fucking hit a wall. Because Ted Cruz was just feeding him shit after shit. And he's just like, dude, I can't. Because Tucker pushed these things when it was Iraq, when it was Afghanistan. He was on the other side of that. People don't
Mm-hmm.
even know that a mere 10, 15 years ago, Bowtie Tucker, remember fucking Bowtie Tucker? Hi, I'm at CNN. What do you mean? Ha 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 ha. What do you mean? Dude, that guy
Mm-hmm.
was such a piece of shit back then. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about
He
Tucker
still is.
Carlson was a paid he didn't know what he was doing, but he still had the same passion. But I think he just was not aware. And when he woke up, he's like, this is bullshit. And you're correct. I don't think it was a gotcha question. I think it escalated over time. And I'm only, hold on, how far am I in? I'm watching it right now. I was watching it earlier. I'm maybe like 20 minutes in, and the grace that Tucker's allowing Ted Cruz to talk. So if no one's saying this, basically the question is what's the population now?
My
Ted Cruz could have
intrigue
said
was
75 to 100 million. Like he says 75 to 100 million, that he kind of skates on. But it reminds me of, hey, Nikki Haley, you're defending Ukraine. I'm Vivek Ramaswamy. What are the territories you're defending again? What are the territories our weapons
Little
are in?
Russia. Little Russia.
Right. You know what I'm talking about, right? When we're talking Donetsk, you know, all the Zaporizhia, all those places. Right.
Yeah.
And
Or
she's
Kamala Harris's little dumbass speech. Like,
yes.
well, Ukraine is a little country and
Yes.
Russia is a big country. And then I just remember Michael Malice going on Rogan and calling her a fucking retard.
Calling her a retard. She's retarded. And he just said it so. And by the way, Michael Malice, if you're listening, which you're not, but if anyone knows Michael Malice, I had such an honor of meeting him this week at Freedom Fest. Dude's pretty fucking cool. I got to shake his hand. He was at the book signing. Whoa! And I got to say, what was your favorite part of this book signing? I just felt really cool saying that because that's what he says to guests on his podcast. So it's kind of fun.
Did he just say you're welcome?
Yeah, there you go. You are welcome.
Welcome.
So anyway, so this is the thing is, yes, the clip was a gotcha clip. I will offer that. But I'm watching the rest of this conversation. It just looks like an escalation to where Ted Cruz just can't fucking shovel the shit fast enough.
Another good one that was last week. It was actually released. I believe it was actually released on last Thursday, before Israel attacked. But he had Jeffrey Sachs on again, and just everything that he said. I mean, it was foreshadowing because as soon as that gets like released, all of a sudden in the wee hours of Friday the 13th, middle of the night for us, or evening for you, Mark, since you're in Arizona, Israel ends up striking Tehran. But it's a phenomenal interview, in my opinion. Jeffrey Sachs is wild, man. Definitely.
He's nuanced too. He's nuanced too, though. Remember, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's two things. Identifying the problem and solving the problem. Jeffrey Sachs, okay, this is what I want.
He's good at identifying it.
Right. Okay. Scott Horton was not the kindest, I think, to Jeffrey Sachs. He admitted that and provoked. Remember during the shock and awe? It was during the shock and awe economic when they were trying to make the economy. And Jeffrey Sachs talks about it, how he helped Estonia, but he really fucked Russia. But he claims in hindsight that they didn't listen to him. Now, Scott Horton just looked at the facts that Jeffrey Sachs was in charge of it and it went to shit. So he blames Jeffrey Sachs. That's understandable. I get that. But watching Jeffrey Sachs, he was on a live thing too now, talking about what, all this on with whoever. I think Jeffrey Sachs and Scott Horton need to have a sit down.
They should.
I would love to watch because they've identified the problem. What's that?
Love to watch. Hey, Jeffrey Sachs. I know you're not watching, but Jeffrey Sachs, Scott Horton, League of Ordinary Friends.
League of Ordinary Friends. Come on, jump on our show. Now I actually tweeted out or X'd out or whatever.
Scott would do it too.
Scott would totally do it. I actually said Jeffrey should go to the Ron Paul barbecue.
Yes.
Dude, we need to think. Horton-ears assemble.
Dun, dun,
Oh man, look, we've got over 60 people on, man. So we're doing something right, aren't we?
We are doing something right.
People
we
are
listening. Doing something right. But what's interesting about that, because we know Tucker's history. I mean, his parents or his dad or whatever were part of the CIA, so he has insight. He was in the auspices of CNN and Fox News, so he has his insights. Jeffrey Sachs, big government shill, obviously.
Well,
Great
he
with
was in it,
identifying the
and now he's
problem.
not.
He was in it, and now he's not. Yeah, exactly. So it's a bit of foreshadowing. So, and they are part of the problem.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the
That's
only
also foreshadowing.
with Dave Smith, this is the other thing we see too on that is let's see what we got here. Okay, got that. This is what I see too on that is Sachs's solutions is government. He thinks
Yeah.
like there's some magical good government out there. And like
Mm,
what people don't really realize, there's no good overlord. Like there's better and worse overlords, but there's no good over. There's just no good overlord. It's just not a
hmm
like a. It's not a reality.
No.
You know what I mean? So when he thinks, oh well, this part should be covered by a bigger, like he thinks of subsidiarity, right? So basically, what subsidiarity is, it's governance on the smallest possible level. Like I would love my law enforcement to be neighborhood watch.
No, yeah.
Like
That'd
that
be
would be awesome.
awesome.
Like
hmm
everybody, we've got shifts of 5 guys all day throughout, volunteering a couple hours of their day, 1 hour in the morning, 1
hmm
hour at night, whatever, whatever, doing, or hiring somebody. And all these little neighborhoods, they had their whatever and they figured it out. And the professionals, they're the ones who interact. So we don't, if I'm fiery, he's like, hey, Joe's just had a bit too much to drink. He'll be all right. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like calmer heads, like just that's a cool way to do it. But Sachs looks at it like, no, big governance, but has to be good. It's like, that's not possible.
hmm
It's not possibly big and good.
It's not. It's
So
not.
back to the Ted Cruz thing. You mind sharing that one from Justin? Because he's right. I
You,
do want to address that.
you don't know the population of the country you want to topple. That is an antagonistic and loaded question.
The
Actually, I
only
agree with Justin on that. It is a
I
little
agree too,
antagonistic.
but in context changes the content. In my opinion, once again, I'm a Hortoneer
Yeah.
guy, so I can't, I'm biased. No, but the truth is, he said, what's the population of Iran? And the way Ted Cruz responds, like, I don't know. It was the way I think that he responded made Tucker go, all right, now it's time. I think that's what I think he just, if you watch it again, I'm not excusing it, justifying any of it. We don't do justifications. You and I don't do that. You and I look at a problem, we look at causality and what causes the problem, why it goes to where it goes. We don't go, oh, fault. Yeah, we can blame all we want. Like Putin is to blame for invading Ukraine, 100%. We know that. But can we look at the causality that led up to him being cornered and for them not letting him have Sevastopol? The only port that he would access the Black Sea with. Of course, you got to put that in context too. I'm not the one telling him he's right or wrong. I think all war is wrong, but I can totally
hmm
see how certain things happen, right? If that
There
makes sense.
was at least one more that was correct. The First Crusade.
Oh, what about the Revolutionary? No,
Eh,
we tried.
we tried, but we failed on that one. Because there's something called
We
the
almost made it
Constitutional
250.
Convention.
We almost made it 250.
We almost made it until we had that filthy Constitutional Convention with those filthy Federalists.
Those Federalists. God damn, Hamilton, fuck that guy. You know what? Somebody should have shot that fucking guy.
Oh wait,
Wait, oh shit. It's chilly
the
in
only
here.
the only good thing that Aaron Burr ever did in his life,
Besides suck Jefferson's cock. Anyway,
basically.
and, well, he was like a wishy-washy little politician bitch. He's like, oh,
He
Bernie
was.
Sanders. All right, dude. First of all, Zach.
Ace Oliver.
That's I don't even, is that a politician? I think
I don't know.
I think I got more write-in votes than he got last election, by the way.
Mad Dog.
Sir, dude, we've been
Mad
here.
Dog 2026.
Oh, I met the new libertarian presidential candidate. You will not. All right, all right, let's end on this. First of all, dude, I thought we talked for like 15 minutes and we're 2 hours in. How like time warp, dude? Like literally, like boom. Thank you so much for making my Thursday a lot more fun and go by. Secondly, we've got over 60 people on. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday night. That's what I'd say. Please
You could
go
be
down to
at the
these
bar.
green little line, go down to these guys and hit follow. Go in your Rumble, Zach. Tell me if you see a little red notification. Somebody had to hit follow by now. Somebody had to join down there. Legacy Right. Join If by Whiskey. Join Not Conscious. Please. We thank you. We thank you
Hey,
for this. You guys are awesome. We're so grateful.
thank you for you 6 people on Rumble. Actually, everybody moved
Yes.
to Rumble.
Everybody moved to Rumble. That's what we're trying.
Yeah.
Now, Justin is awesome, and he's not on Rumble today, but we give him grace because look at all the activity. Look at all the
Yeah.
engagement that Justin has. Now, we're going to call it a day, but before we do, we definitely, if there are any questions, Justin, please feel free to share. We definitely have a little more time here. Go ahead and share that, Zach.
I said it before and I will say it again. The U.S. Constitution, as it was intentionally laid out, is the best option for a realistic libertarian-style government in modern-day world. I didn't sign shit. No,
framework is there.
Yeah,
I could
the
say framework is
there.
there, but there's too much scaffolding on it now.
Anymore, yes.
Right. So, like, when we say modern day world, the modern day world doesn't have the framework anymore. It's all the stucco and the shit that they fucking threw on the outside. It's all the remodeling. We don't want it remodeled. We want it back the old way. That's just an opinion. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
From that perspective.
I mean,
but you're right. The framework's decent.
The framework. The framework is very keen to the detail. I think it still gives a little too much authority to a centralized governance, but hey, man, we don't live in we live in reality. So the anti-federalists tried to get their got you by slipping in the Bill of Rights. But nobody cares about the Bill of Rights when it comes to government. So, and besides, your only negative right, everybody, is to simply just divorce. Move around. If you don't like one culture, then go find your own culture. That's realistically, that's natural.
So on that, excellent points, Zach. And I'm very not knowledgeable about the Confederation of States. But the more I'm looking at it, the more intrigued I am by what that was trying to do, or the Articles of Confederation before the Constitution, right?
Each state was more independent.
Right.
Yeah.
It was much more independent. It was much more like
kind of, yeah. And that's kind of how the United States was set up in the early days of the Constitution for the most part. It wasn't until, like, you could look at it like this: before the American Civil War, we were these United States. After, we were the United States. So the consolidation was there, and I think that was the whole point. They kind of pushed it. They kicked the can down the road, so to speak, during the convention to let it hit a headwind that eventually culminated in the United States Civil War. And the big government guys won.
There was a lot beyond slavery that had to do with Civil War, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly ask that you go follow at @infinite_zeal.
And
Tom
tell him you love
DiLorenzo's
Abraham.
written many books about Lincoln.
Yeah.
And I did a podcast with him. If by Lincoln you mean what, maybe a month ago. So go ahead down the If by Whiskey, go down about 3-4 episodes. We did one with him. What's really awesome, I am going to this Ron Paul barbecue thing. Dude, I'm so freaking excited. Tom DiLorenzo is going to be there. The guy who wrote the Unmasking Lincoln and all that, right? So I reached out to Joel and I'm like, hey, have you ever met DiLorenzo? Because I think he's the president of Mises.
He's the president of Mises now, yes.
Okay. I don't know titles and shit. I barely know names, man. I like people. When I meet somebody and I talk to them for an hour and they're like, hi, my name's Austin Paget. And I'm like, cool, Austin Paget. My name's Mark Poles. I don't know why you gave me your full name, but okay. And then I look up Austin Paget, for example. I go, oh, that's Austin Paget. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, I know who like a Steve Forbes is. Okay. But
Mhm.
imagine that. Imagine like a Steve Forbes of an industry that you're just not familiar with comes up
Yeah.
to you and goes, I'm Steve Forbes of an industry you're not familiar with. And I'm like, oh, hi, Steve Forbes. You're a nobody to me because I don't know the industry.
Did
That's how I
did you
feel about
meet
everybody I talk to.
did you get to talk to Steve Forbes, by the way?
I did. I took a picture with him.
Yeah.
I took a
Oh,
selfie.
that's
So
sick.
I asked him, yeah, I asked him.
That's
So
awesome.
did I ever share the whole reason I'm even at a Freedom Fest is Steve Forbes? The whole fucking reason. So
Mhm.
it's 2022. Now, every other year, the Freedom Fest goes like it's like a hub and spoke. It goes to Vegas one year, then it goes somewhere else. So I think in 23 it was in Memphis, Tennessee. I heard it was really scary. But 2022 it was in Vegas. Oh, what a great thing. I have about 150 XRPs. Ripple.
I stole this from the library. I adversely possessed this from the library.
Nice. Statute of limitations are up, I hope.
Uh, yeah, it's probably been like 10 years.
This is a question for you, Zach, right after I share this story. That
Mhm.
sound good?
Oh,
All
that's
right,
fun.
we'll talk about that one.
I'll try.
So Justin, oh, good.
Oh,
Thanks
that's
for
great.
hanging out. So here we are. So we're Megan and I, Megsy, my girl, my love. So we go to Vegas 6 times a year, 5, 6 times a year. We always we're foodies, so we'll share a really expensive meal versus each get like a cheaper meal, if that makes sense. So we really like to try something new, something we normally couldn't afford, but we could split it, find ways to do. We're really good at hacking at that. Anyway, so we are at the Mirage in Vegas, and we're at a place called Heritage Steakhouse. Have you ever watched Top Chef? The guy Tom
I have.
Colicchio is the head chef.
Yeah.
The bald guy, super nice guy. He
Mhm.
owns Heritage Steakhouse. He also owns Kraft at
Oh,
New York, New York. Yeah, so prime rib is the best. If you ever get a Colicchio prime rib, get a Tom Colicchio prime rib, dude. It's the best. Anyway, so we're at
mm.
Heritage Steakhouse and we're at the bar outside in the Mirage in the casino. And we sit and there's a guy named Kelly next to us. Like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm always social talking to somebody. It's probably a curse and a blessing. So we're talking. All of a sudden, you hear these doors open and like a flood, like a shit ton of people come pouring out of this room. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And all of a sudden, I see Steve Forbes walk slowly like across the room. And I'm looking at my girlfriend and I'm like, that's Steve fucking Forbes right there. Like, cause like that doesn't normally happen in Vegas. It's like a really famous person walking through a hall. Like no one, it doesn't normally happen. No, or like alone, you know what I mean? Normally there's a group around them or something, right? This is just Steve Forbes going da 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 da, wherever he's going. So I lift my head up, I look around, all these signs, Freedom Fest, Freedom Fest. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? So I talked to this guy Kelly, this guy was sitting, my neighbor over here at the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, it's this awesome thing, blah blah blah." And this is 2022. I'm only 2 years into the podcast. I don't even think I'm libertarian minded. It's like I talk about other stuff, but I talk about everything. But basically, I'm not in this
Mhm.
space at all. I look at my girlfriend, I go, "Next time it's in Vegas, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna come." It's just something came to me, right? So 24 comes around. And I'm like, hey, whatever was up with that Freedom Fest thing. Turns out in Vegas, I'm like, oh, they have these media things. So I applied for media. Valerie Durham. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Haley Skousen, for inviting me. Thank you, Mark. We got a discounted rate to be in media. And then I've been back. So I went back this year at Palm Springs. And it's literally because we just happened to be at the Mirage. If I'm not at the Mirage that night for dinner, dude, I'm not at Freedom Fest. I'm not on a podcast with you right now. We're not talking.
Mhm.
100%. It's the
Mm.
weirdest thing, like how it connects. There is no way I had to be there at that time for that to happen. I don't see it. I don't think about it. I wouldn't even be here. I swear to God, I wouldn't even be talking about it.
Mhm. That's
Just
yeah.
one of those
That's wild.
causality things. All right.
Mhm.
So
It
we got
really is.
Justin here back. I'll let you read this and answer because I talk way too much, everybody.
I'll
We still have
I
60
will
people here,
try
by
to
the way.
answer. Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
I will try to answer it. But if you ever have a question and you're on X, Justin, Design Heretic at Design Heretic. That's his name is Greg. I am William, and then at AI Conan 90, which is Andrew. drop them a message and ask whatever your little heart desires around blockchain. They will drop you with some knowledge on it and they're better than me. But why are people so interested in blockchain, specifically currency, and why is it a better investment than gold and other precious metals? I'm going to answer the second one first. You should you should definitely diversify. So definitely diversify. So that knocks out the second question. So why are people so interested in blockchain? Um, Most people that are into it correctly, in my opinion, are into the adaptation of the utility and the solutions that it can provide. The decentralized idea surrounding it of utilizing a system for a better organized track system that's transparent but yet private. Um, Very organized, very neat. You have ideas that have come out of blockchain technologies. You have DAO systems. In fact, an example of a DAO would be the World Blockchain Roundtable, DIN.social, decentralized autonomous organization. You have the idea of smart contracts, which are just wicked fast on the blockchain. Um, so that's where I would look at it. Why are people into the blockchain as like a currency mechanism, though? Those are number go uppers. They're in it to make it to capitalize as much as they can on the dollar or whatever currency, but the dollar ratio to like Bitcoin. So they're in it as an asset, as a commodity asset, make money, number go up. I look more at the fact that you need to diversify into a utility aspect. Others might say, no, Bitcoin number go up. It's worth $100,000. I don't know where it's at. I think it's at like 106 now. And I'm rich, biatch. So, but effectively, to answer the question, people are interested in it in two different ways because people understand the dollar is done. It's toast. It's been toast, and people are starting to wake up to that functionality. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna leave it at
100%.
that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, but by all means, I would reach out and DM Design Heretic. I am for I am we and AI Conan 90 and ask more for some more elaborate answers. They'll be able to help you out more on the idea of blockchain and crypto, and they're more enmeshed into it than I am.
Yeah, I am for I am we. Let's you obviously, Justin, you've spoken with him on chat. So next
Hmm.
time we do a if by whiskey, or even if you guys do one, you can jump on chat.
Hmm.
On Monday we're doing one. So if I am for I am's on, we is on William, he could
Hmm.
probably answer that question. He could probably do it within the chat. So feel free to jump in.
Hmm. Yep.
Um,
So Web
so I will answer a
3.0.
little bit of this
Oh,
too. So
yeah.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, go. No, go ahead.
Are you gonna
I,
answer
I
this
was
guy?
I was just gonna read this like Web 3.0 application for smart contracts and decentralized web are pretty cool, but will the governments ever let it actually happen? I think they can't ignore it.
I think they'll
There's no
try to
way that they
regulate
can
it though,
stop it.
because they already regulated
They
Web
will.
1 and 2 because it wasn't that was
Hmm.
deregulated too in the beginning. So
Yeah, they'll do whatever they can to
the
delay it,
the
to
problem is
retard it.
this. This is what's
But
going to happen. This could be a monumental explosive shift in control,
hmm,
and they will need to find a poster child to Ross Ulbricht again,
yeah.
right?
Oh, they already
So
have that.
right, if nobody know right, we already have Roger Ver and
Right.
Freeman. Okay, we already have a
Hmm.
couple here, but that's just now. We're talking when Web 3 really becomes like whatever adopt. I don't even know this stuff. I
Hmm.
just know we're on 2, right? We're on Web 2 is the internet the way it is
Something like
now.
that. Yeah.
So, okay. All I'm saying is if people don't know who Ross Ulbricht is, Ross Ulbricht built a website. That's why he went to jail. He built a website. It's called the Silk Road. Silk Road was a black market website. You could sell all different things that used Bitcoin for a transaction, I think, right? It went around the government, did not require financial payment, didn't require credit card, didn't require anything. You use Bitcoin, basically, right? Well, things were being sold on there the government doesn't like. Drugs. Oh my God, drugs. How
guns?
Somebody was literally, you guys don't listen to this. I'm just making sure no one's watching. They bought drugs and then took them themselves. And then they sat at home. Can you believe? No, like, no. Seriously, like that thing with the needle, that thing that heroin stuff, they cooked it with a spoon and they injected it in their vein and laid in their couch and watched TV. No, total truth.
Or overdose. Whatever floats your boat.
Clutching my pearls, everybody. Okay. Didn't harm a good goddamn soul. Not that I'm, all right. So
I will say it is all demonic in my opinion. This is coming from a drug addict, but regardless, it's your choice.
Drugs are the result. Drugs are the way to mask a trauma or something, dude, right? How many people get over something because they fucking address the shit that's actually haunting them? Like, and we all have addiction. This isn't judgment for anyone's addiction. I'm addicted to the political talk. Look at me right now. I'm going to lose my girlfriend because I'm sitting here talking to you about Trump. No. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have addicted person. It's just
don't lose your girlfriend over Trump, man.
No, I won't. I would never lose my girlfriend over. There is no Trump versus my girlfriend. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. That's not even close.
But there is Ron Paul.
Right. So Ross Ulbricht runs this site. There was alleged murder for hires on there. Now, allegedly they implicate that he did them. I have not seen proof.
There's chats. There are some chats.
There are chats,
and
actually, again, those charges were not actually part of the thing.
Yeah,
they were not part of it. Okay, but
if you want to lay down, I'll let you finish, Mark. But if you want to,
go ahead. Like, no, please jump in.
If you want a good informational, Kenny from I'm drawing a blank. Mental Outlaw is the channel name. But he does a good little expose on the whole fiasco with Ross Ulbricht, and what went down. So it's very intriguing. I mean, I would just go to Mental Outlaw and look it up. Just search in like Ross Ulbricht mental. He has a bunch of videos on it. So, but Mental Outlaw, great channel.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing. So this is the point about that, right? That part isn't what he was found convicted for, though. He was convicted of all this other stuff that he was not even a part of, just for having the site. For that, he got 2 life sentences plus 20 or 40 years. Okay,
40 years. Yeah, I think 40 years.
So 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Guess what? The one thing in federal prison you don't ever get: parole. There's no parole in federal prison. I didn't know that until Ross spoke at Freedom Fest, and I'm working on the video to put it together. Dude, I'm a one-man I got 264 gigabytes of video at this darn thing. I am trying to cut it into pieces. I am so behind. It's not even funny. Anyway, it's not right. Regardless, the guy made a website. Roger Ver, same thing. The guy, they get him for selling fireworks on eBay. And guess what you can do on eBay?
Sell fireworks.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and this is a guy who, that's even a crazier story. That's the one who Angela's on board with now. The reason I'm really interested in working with Angela after the stuff that happened to LP, which really initially made me not think to want to be interested in working. You know what I mean? Like, because that really soured me a little. She and Lynn Ulbricht are fighting to free Roger Ver and Freeman and all these. So, like, I will always align with someone to do good, and I will always align against someone to do bad.
And so is Aaron Day. So Aaron Day just actually got done with it.
Aaron Day, is he the gun? A month ago. Is he the gun maker? Who's the gun maker?
No. Oh, that Dexter Taylor.
Douglas.
Dexter Taylor
in New York, right?
Yeah. Hey, that's Dexter Taylor. He's
Dexter Taylor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of people anyway that are seriously being mistreated here. But imagine two lives.
freerogernow.org. Go to it, sign the petition. So
Yes.
freerogernow.org.
Yes, absolutely. So that's where we're at. Yeah, to Zach's point, diversify. Get some silver, get some fractional. Try to get fractional as close to spot as you can, because fractional tends to be cost. What fractional means is you can break like a silver thing into little pieces. So like instead of using a whole ounce, you only have tenths of an ounce. The other thing I'd recommend is this thing called gold backs. Gold backs are freaking awesome. They're vellum paper of some sort. They're literally $1 with gold in it, with the weight of gold in it. So they have 100, I think up to 100, which is 1/1000th, or 20 is 1/1000. They've got all different weights. You can actually feel the weight of the paper, and that's about double the price of spot. But the reason that is because you have it in paper form to carry it and you can exchange it. So thank you, sir. We're gonna put that up there.
Yeah, always diversify. So
all right. So can you read this one? And I got one more thing before we call it a day, sir.
I'm just trying to provide questions to keep things going, LOL, but I am curious about these things. I will stop so you guys can get back to actual life.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin.
We got over 60 people still right now. I'm so grateful. Zach, this has been fun. I did not expect this to go.
Yeah.
It's like these are the best podcasts because you're like, I didn't go in expecting anything. Actually, I went in going, shit, this is gonna go so quick, or I don't even know what to say. And look, we're over 2 hours. It's our longest one, 2.5. So I did put a poll out before we go. I put a poll out. Megsy, I love Megsy. I want to share this. Megsy's mom is awesome. She started giving Megsy some advice for us, for our podcast. She goes, you know what he should do? He should do a poll. And he should do a poll. And I'm like, you know, that's really great. If I was somebody, people would answer the poll. So it'd be great, right? Yeah, great. No, I totally agree. First of all, brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. So what did I do today? I did a poll yesterday. What if there was a libertarian rap group name? What would you call it? I just made fun. I went with Boo Tang Clan because all libertarians do is boo at everything. And my second one was, instead of naughty by nature, it was disagreeable by nature. And I will say disagreeable by nature did get 66% of the votes. That's the good news. The bad news is 3 people voted. So the first poll, it was 2-1. So thank you for the advice. I feel like a piece of shit. I'm going to stuck my turtle head back in my turtle shell. I can put my tail between my legs, and I'm going to whimper away like a little bitch because I really thought we would have had a little momentum by now to have more than 3
Where
people.
was it? Where was it on? X or?
It was on X. No, dude. So this is me on X. Ready? 0 0 0 0 100,000 0 0 0 0.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. They turn you on and off, and I can't even get into a bitch fest about that. But literally, I was on this thing where I had 35,000 and it fucking plummeted. I'm like, where'd that wave go? Now they turned me off for the last 3 days. I cannot get something retweeted when Dan Free and Mike Decentralize and you and Buds and Jason and Drop, everybody's retweeting everything. You don't even see it now. Now you're not. All you're seeing is Israel bullshit and Ted fucking Cruz telling you this. He's an isolationist hawk. What the fuck is an isolationist hawk?
I mean, to be fair, I'm probably going down to the dungeons with y'all pretty soon because, like, there was this Pope Leo the 14th tweet that I decided to comment on just to do it. And
share the story.
Anyways, he said the tweet came from like in the morning, right? So the powerful weapons used in modern wars threaten to lead us to a barbarism greater than that of the past. In the name of human dignity and international law, I repeat to those in positions of responsibility what Pope Francis used to say: war is always a defeat. and with Pope Pius the 12th, nothing is lost with peace. Everything can be lost with war. So me being funny, I'm like, when are you calling a crusade to take back the Holy Land from the synagogue of Satan? Boom. Blocked.
You're always getting in trouble, man.
As soon as I saw that flash, I'm like, yeah, I knew they were going to take it. It's the synagogue of Satan. You can't, I mean, freedom of speech, my ass.
Freedom of speech, my ass. All right.
Yeah.
I think I might try to share something here. Okay, I will. I will. All right. Are you ready, my friend? I'm going to do it. So this is what happened. You remember woke right, woke left, all that bullshit we went through. We did 2 fucking episodes on it. All right, everybody.
Yep.
Once again, okay. Share that, Zach, before I go rambling on again.
Hard to get a big following out there if you're not part of a major political ideologies, or you can be a libertarian and get on Joe Rogan's podcast. Just be Dave Smith, dude.
I'm trying to be Dave Smith. What would Dave Smith do? Right?
I don't know. Could you just stop being a fucking faggot for 5 seconds? Oh, YouTube can go to hell.
You too can stop being a faggot for 5 seconds. All right. I do have to share this. So, okay, here's where it goes. All right. So first of all, once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining. I guess we'll try to call it, but we'll probably have something more come up because we're talking here. We're just having such a good time. Here it is. Freedom Fest. I didn't know James Lindsay was going to be there. I found out.
Wild.
Not that. Brett Weinstein, very much the honor. And the other gentleman, gosh darn it, I forget his name. He's the director. He's amazing. And I can't remember his name, and I feel like an idiot. But James Lindsay's the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle. All right. He's been on this woke right thing for a while. Right?
Who's the other guy?
This guy?
The bald guy.
This is Brett Weinstein. This is the director of the movie. So there was a documentary. Okay. Gosh darn it, Marcus. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself. I'm gonna have to put a correction in here because I cannot for the life, dude. I met so many people. Like, you want to talk about drinking from a fire hose and trying to remember? Super nice guy. I know he's Australian. He's got a beautiful accent, gorgeous dome, and I like the man. Very nice, very kind. On many panels. But once again, Brett Weinstein, James Lindsay, woke right, woke left, all this stuff came up. Remember, I've been on the woke shit since October. Woke right, I felt this weird shift with Tim Pool. Remember when he was like about to jump ship and go to Daily Wire?
Oh, yeah.
Remember there was that weird week where like it seemed like he was about to and then he backed out? Like, it's something they were working because remember I think they opened the books and they're like, that shit doesn't look right.
And that was around the time of the tenant media.
Yes, that was exactly the tenant media, and all that shit with and Boring. But Boring had already started submarining Daily Wire here at this point. No one knows about it, but he was losing money. He's 50 million into a fucking movie project that isn't even been halfway made on part 1 of 3. Something like that, something ridiculous. Anyway. So I've been on this woke right thing for a long time. I'm like, the pendulum's already started moving back, guys. Start pushing to slow it from going too far. Where the Ben Shapiro, everybody's becoming this victim now on the winning side. When did Peterson start talking about guidelines when he was the one being held down? When was Shapiro talking about censorship when they called him the most anti-Semitic and the most hated Jew on the internet? No, they got their popularity from fighting that system, right? That's when we saw them. That's when we looked, is when they were being oppressed. So they now get the power, and what do they immediately do? Call for oppression and censorship.
Yeah.
What is what bullshit is that? And I called it so long ago because what I said was basically this bullshit about sensitivity is going to become offensive language for the fucking religious people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not exactly that, but we're seeing what it is. Okay. So James Lindsay had these whole articles about the left, the right, woke left, about rape, dog parks, and dog culture. So you need to treat men like dogs. It's the only way to keep them in line. It's brilliant work. It is brilliant that he did this. Okay, people who haven't seen, you have to watch this documentary too. I'll share it all. It is brilliant work, and he's right dead on about this. And he did it with Peter Boghossian and another woman. It's brilliant. And Brett Weinstein's in it too because of Evergreen. What happened? The shit he had to go through. And I love Brett Weinstein, by the way. I love Brett Weinstein, and I'll share that too. But anyway, this is Lindsay. Now, Lindsay comes out of this, and he starts talking about the woke right. You heard it. We heard it. He starts going woke right, woke right, woke right. But who the fuck is the woke right? Now, I do remember him saying Dave Smith, I think. I watched the Peterson podcast, the entire fucking one, not a clip, not the one of him talking about the woke thing. I watched the entire thing and was like, this seems like a weird stroke fest. Anyway, I'll share all that. Let me do this. So I come out of this going, though, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, James Lindsay, Douglas Murray, never been. All that shit. That's when they circled the wagons in this whole woke shit. And somehow Dave Smith is woke, right? When has Dave Smith ever been the victim of, ever claimed to be the victim of anything? Nothing.
His failed comedy career.
Oh, sure, because he's not funny. That's right. He just dropped another 30 minutes, but he's not funny, right? He's not funny at all, right? Yeah. So
that's why he's in the political commentary now.
Exactly. He's only he's only doing political commentary, of course. So this is what I came up with. The Zionist movement has taken the general anti-war movement, anyone anti-war, and conflated them along with Nick Fuentes and the really extreme right people who are the ones claiming that James Lindsay allegedly claims. So what's happening is anti-war people are against, guess what we're against? War. So that would include Ukraine and Israel. But that's the problem. Israel doesn't want Israel to stop fighting. So they can't have anti-war people because it speaks against their message too. So we're just going to make them all bad people because I don't care if the Ukraine, I don't give a shit about the Ukraine, whether it stops it or not. We just can't have ours stopped, right? So we'll just slander anybody who's against our war. But we're not against their war. We're against war.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're just against war. That's not what fucking woke is, people. That's fucking logic. All right. So I came up with this whole thing. I asked James Lindsay the question, and the answer, you haven't seen this, right?
I have not.
Oh, you're going to shit. You're going to shit when you hear this answer. And I'll try to share that I tried to give him grace after. We're going to get there. I'm going to play it right now. This is unbelievable what he called me. The guy who watches 4 fucking podcasts at a time, all of them, 3 hour long. I don't give a shit. All right. I got to share. All right, here it is before I blow up. Here it is.
Woke left, woke right. Let me ask James, why has there been a recent push to conflate the general anti-war movement with this new woke right label?
There's no attempt to conflate the general anti-war movement with that. You're the victim of a very fine people hoax, where people have said things that have been said that are not what the thing actually was if you listen in context. Being woke means that you've awakened to systems of structural oppression that are the foundational organizing principle of society. It does not mean that you oppose war. It does not mean that you are pro or anti-Israel. It doesn't mean that you have any thoughts one way or the other about Zionism or Jews or anything else, unless your thought about Jews is that they secretly orchestrate to control the entire world, which would be a structural belief about how society is fundamentally organized through a secret system of power. So there are a lot of very fine people hoaxes, as I'm coming to refer to them, about what this kind of confusing term woke right refers to, where Very Fine People hoax refers to when President Trump said in the wake of the Charlottesville stunt that there were very fine people on both sides, and the media ran with this and said he's never condemned white supremacy, even though he literally condemned white supremacy in the sentence before that the fake news media cut off. If you actually watch the whole clip. So I'm sorry to hear that you're the victim of a Very Fine People hoax, but if you believe there is a structural organizing principle to society that is oppressor versus oppressed, and that is the fundamental way that everything works, then you might be woke. And if not, you're probably not, and you're just making arguments based on your principles.
Wow.
I'm the victim of Very Fine People hoax, man.
Wow.
You watched him post his shit lately? Did you watch
Wow.
today?
I have not. I have actually haven't paid much attention to X today, but
All right, yesterday and today. So I'm the victim of now.
ooh,
I'm gonna admit, guys, I thought I was pushing it a little bit. I was very scared to ask that question. I spent 20 minutes in my head. What word do I use? Do I use, isn't it dangerous to do that? Like, I didn't want to fucking do gotcha shit. I was trying to ask a solid question. And I think I did. I think I did. But dude, he did not like being asked that question at that time. Because he got a little upset, I think. So I met him after. I got to talk to him after. I said, first conversation after was, thank you so much for answering that question. I'm really grateful that you did that. I hope that opens the door for more conversation. So like, I ate that shit sandwich. That he kicked me, dude. He called someone like. There's a few things that I take personally. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't take that personally just because I did, obviously, but we all do technically. But like the one thing I'm not is like I don't take shit out of context. I tend to like try to look at the full pictures. Now I might not have the full picture, but I think I'm pretty good at trying, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's just myself. I think I'm okay with it. So I took a little offense, but at the same point, I'm not gonna be a dick. Like I totally get it. I asked him a question a little bit. I don't know. It felt pushy, but how many chances am I going to get to ask James Lindsay the question about the woke right since he's the one pushing the whole fucking thing, right? How many chances?
Exactly.
I got to talk with him. Dude, a pleasant conversation. Hey.
Oh, I believe it.
He starts talking. He goes, I didn't even know Dave Smith's name until they brought it up or whatever. And I'm like, well, then you did start talking about it. But he goes, well, and then he made a probably the most logical thing anyone could say. He goes, after that first one, not the before the Jordan Peterson one, he was already getting embroiled in it. But before the Jordan Peterson one is the one that really hurt him. The one with the what happens with the Morning Star bullshit. Remember that fucking line? What do? You wake up, woke. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So he gets on, he goes, but he told me, he goes, Jordan Peterson asked me in his podcast, what was I going to say? No. Like, seriously, dude, if Jordan Peterson, first of all, he lives 10 miles from me and I'm begging to fucking talk to him about some stuff, but I don't think he'd want to. But I think I'd actually come to him with grace. I just don't think he'd like that I'd counter him or whatever. But
oh no, you probably wouldn't. But
if you were asked, if Jordan Peterson called me up right now, I do a podcast right fucking now. I'd be like, Zach, I gotta go. I gotta talk to Jordan Peterson at 8, in 15 minutes. I gotta go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just doing it. Right. And I would expect you be like, oh my God, Jordan Peterson called you. Holy shit. What a great opportunity. Right. Whatever. So I don't blame him for that.
Michael
Pleasant
Malice.
Conversations. But then for him to say, I'm conflating the two and read his tweets, everybody. Read his tweets today, yesterday, whatever. And if you didn't watch the clip with the Morningstar thing, I might have clipped it. Let me see if I have it. I'm just going to check if I have it.
Hold up. Here's one for 50 minutes ago. Black liberation theology isn't just completely heretical. It's also a complete disaster. He's quote tweeting a woke preacher's clip video.
Oh, that's funny. No, and look, he's having fun today, Juneteenth as well, guys. So
I understand.
Look at the stuff from yesterday. But just watch the Jordan Peterson clip. Basically, they talk about about Lucifer being the morning star or whatever. And he goes, what do you do in the
Yes.
morning? You wake up, hence woke. It's like,
Wait,
dude,
yeah.
that is not
That's not how it
even,
goes.
this is not even anything like that.
Mhm.
Why would you even offer that? Like, why would you offer that being at the level
This
you
is a
are?
Satanist.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
all right. So where are we at here? Let's, what do we got here? Boom.
He
All
got
right. Here's
yeah,
Justin. You want to share
yeah.
that?
He got off track with the very fine people hoax, which was the hoax. But his explanation of woke believing in systems of power that serve to oppress seemed legit, and his inclusion thinking Jews run the world as that system of power falling into the category seemed like a reasonable answer. That makes sense to me. I mean,
Truth
sensible,
without
but
fact.
yet
Like, it's like
exactly.
truth without fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
There
I
are
watched his
elements.
podcast. He doesn't do that on his podcast. He may have said that in his comment,
Mm-hmm.
but the verifying people part is like, I'm not taking him out of context when he talks. You know what I mean? And Justin's right. The Jews do not run every goddamn fucking thing. Okay, I run a lot of my life. Okay, the Fed is another question. Might have some Jews in it,
Might have
but
some.
like, just like it's the same thing. This is the same equation. I don't think freedom and liberty came out of Christianity. I think it came from people who were Christians. So I don't think that Jews did the Zionism. It just happens to be that Zionism is an idea that a Jewish person may have come up with. Does that make sense? Can we separate these two things for once? Like, everybody calls us
Yeah.
anti-Semitic everything because we disagree. You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, Zionism is one of those that it comes from the concept of trying to find their identity because they didn't have a nation of their own at that point. So it does come back to finding an identity.
And I don't blame
So,
a people for wanting that.
well, no,
I'm not calling for any extermination of anything. What I am simply calling for is our stopping of support of fucking evil. It's not that hard. Just stop what we're do our help. I'm not interested in helping others hurt others. I'm just not interested. Is that crazy now? Is that we had Vietnam, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq too, Afghanistan.
Grenada.
I mean, Grenada.
Don't forget Grenada. Yeah,
Don't forget Grenada. Don't forget Panama when we got Noriega. Don't forget Iran-Contra. Let's not forget the 70s. Fuck, man. All this shit. Just really? And we know it's for industries. We know it. And don't tell us that we'd be prosperous. We wouldn't be prosperous if these industries didn't fucking get to blow shit up.
I
Peace
mean,
is prosperous. War is profitable. It pays the top, but peace is prosperous. That's what permeates throughout. That's when we get equality of opportunity. When it's all prosperous, when nothing's getting fucking blown up here or there, no one's losing. We're all gaining then.
Yeah. You also forgot to mention 1970, the Banana Republic Wars, the Banana Wars in Guatemala.
Edward Bernays, right? Edward Bernays coined the term. He
Yeah.
actually wrote the book, Propaganda. Edward
Yeah.
Bernays, Century of the Self. Have you seen that documentary yet?
I have not.
Oh my God, dude. If you have time, it is 4 hours broken into 4 1-hour clips. I did a podcast way back in the day with my buddy Chris. And basically it's Edward Bernays, who's the nephew of who's the one about raping the epitable mother or what?
Freud.
Freud's
Yeah,
nephew.
Freud.
He's Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays.
Freud's nephew.
He basically coined all this stuff. He was advertising genius, did the Banana Republics, which they brought home now, guys, with the color revolutions in Europe. And what do you think they did with Black Lives Matter? By the way, the Black Lives Matter fist, you remember, you see that fist that you see all over the place? It's from fucking Maidan coup in 2008 with Madeleine Albright. It was fucking done in Ukraine. They brought it here. And we, all of us, especially
bought into it,
folks, fell for it. Really fell for it. This black fist is a new thing. No, dude. They just recycled that shit. And and it was in Europe. It was European trash art. And you fucking fell for it. Disgusting. You fucking people. You people disgust me. And I love you all. None of you disgust me.
We all love you.
No
Not
judgment.
really.
No judgment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We
What
all
are we
are
talking about?
stupid. The moral of all this is we're all stupid. We all do
Yes.
stupid things. We fall for everything because we're stupid.
Yes.
We just need to get out. We need to get our heads out of our asses. But
Right.
in the long run, I mean, since we got Justin here and both of us, I'm a Catholic. He's a Christian, non-denominational. He said non-denominational, right? I mean,
Yes.
and I know Mark's not anything of the sort, but
But I
said
love
it
you
right
guys,
there.
and I love you guys having what you
Love.
have. I love what you
Exactly.
guys have what you
Love.
have. You know that. Dude, I
You don't
spent 30
need.
minutes talking with Spike Cohen about his journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope it opens the door because I'm gonna share him mine, that one I share with you.
Mm-hmm.
You watched it. Okay. So I started
Mm.
sharing that one a little bit more, because it's really hard to explain where I come from if I don't explain how I got there. So you listen to the UFO one, the weird, crazy podcast I shared. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Wild.
It's just crazy,
Honestly.
right?
Yeah, I would not honestly. I would probably be like, this is. Well, if it was probably like 20 years ago, I would have thought there's no flipping way. But honestly, why not? I mean,
Well,
there's
the fu-
nothing.
and the
There's
funny
nothing
thing
more
is,
to say.
if you heard that and then met me as the guy who did that podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you'd probably think differently.
Well, it makes me think, like, especially with your accident, like it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if something didn't happen with my brother when he got hit. So,
Right.
I mean, maybe something scrambled something or something entered, or I don't know. I don't know how
Yeah.
it works. It's hard to explain. It's complex. It's simple but complex. So you
Right.
start thinking other in your own life. So of certain of similar instances.
100%. And that's the thing, is like, I was only sharing that is like, but what I'm saying is, you see me as a lucid individual who talks about Rothbard and Mises and like economics and like
Mm-hmm.
logic. And then you go and off camera, you experience that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do you legitimize how do I have anything relevant to say? If you heard that story of that first and then met me, I wouldn't even have credibility to like get in the door to get your ear to even listen to me. You know what I mean? Be like, who's this weirdo who just walked in who said he did all this shit? But because we talk to each other, we build a foundation. You know what I mean? Off of that.
Yeah.
So that's just all I'm saying, is like, it's just an interesting way of, but yeah, it's crazy shit. Crazy shit. So I do want to share this. Please read this from Justin. I'm sorry.
To play devil's advocate, which I like to do, what about the technological advancements that have come about due to the research stemming from war efforts, thus providing more prosperity? Yeah, there has been it's like computers and the internet,
Light,
sonar, light,
radar.
Yep.
Sure.
So all good technologies eventually adapted for civilian use, all started militarily. So, I mean, there are definitely reasonable things to look at that are a great adaptation.
I think it's a trope. I'm sorry. I think it's a trope because the Wright brothers didn't build their first plane for war. They built it because
No,
they want to see they could do it.
they built it to see if they could beat Da Vinci.
Right. But you guys understand, like, yes, Justin, you are correct. Maybe things get accelerated through war and we can justify more funding for certain specific types of tech. But be honest, what cost? At the destruction of Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and Hiroshima, what did that leave behind?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it left shadows of people. Ew. You can try to justify or not justify the bombing. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the destruction. What about Dresden? All that production had to be rebuilt. Yes, certain things advanced, specifically flights and certain other things, but not general life. Look at culturally, we're getting more divisive. That we're getting factions built up more. So yes, technology does build and grow through like war and things like that. But We do things because we want to see if we can, not because usually it's not like, hey, what can I weaponize today? Like, we generally weaponize it, but like, you
A
think that,
toothbrush.
right? But didn't the guys who wanted to split the atom just wanted to see if they could split the atom?
Mm.
They didn't go, let's see if we can build the bomb and then work it backwards. So, oh, that requires splitting the atom. Does that make sense? Like, it just turned out that way, right? So this is always a beauty thing about it. Scientists, this is the they've got the beautiful quote is, scientists don't care about if they should make something. They just care if they can make something.
Yeah.
So ethics kind of play, you know what I mean? It gets a little bit, and they're like, leave it up to the politicians. Look at Oppenheimer. He's a great example of that, right? He goes, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. He saw that from the moment he watched the first one go off that test. He had been against
He
it.
knew it.
He was against it.
Yeah.
He just knew. So, and no, I don't know if everybody knows this either. They didn't know it was going to happen when the nuclear test was going to go off. They thought there was a less than zero chance, right? A non-zero chance that the whole atmosphere of the earth would disintegrate if they fucking detonated a nuclear weapon in the air. And what did our people do?
Detonated it. Yeah.
Fuck it. Do
Let's
you
do
think
it.
they really give a shit? Do you let's take a step back, ladies and gentlemen. On a one-on-one level, like to your point, you and I, yeah. But take a step. Do they care about you? No one would. I wouldn't. And that's the beauty thing that Brett Weinstein at the thing. He goes, you know, the problem. I'm gonna try to do a Brett Weinstein. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Let's see. What the problem with it a little bit is that libertarians know that leadership is the problem, but they don't want to take on the leadership because they don't want to lead. And you're like, duh. And it's like, it nails it on the head, right? Libertarians hate leadership because we know that if we got power, we would become corrupted because we know what it does to every system always. Because we know that, we don't want the power in the first place. In addition, we certainly know because it would corrupt us that we certainly wouldn't want some other motherfucker having the power. That's why we believe what we believe. You can put a boot on your head and get naked or be whatever. Those aren't libertarian. No, that's not the ideology of libertarianism, man. It's
That's
literally
libertinism.
right. This is us.
Yeah.
If I had the power, I'd be a fucking tyrant. Because I would be, I know that everyone's capable. Therefore, no one should have it to any level like this. You know, and then we're discussing whether one man can single-handedly eradicate 92 million people with, first of all, without congressional approval. That would be impeachable, by the way. Very impeachable. Dave Smith is not far off. And I'm sorry, like that's like fucking we have not declared war in age. Yeah, all of them. Go through them, buddy.
Yeah. 80 years. Well, 85 years.
Yeah, so right. You know it.
84 years.
It's 80, whatever that is, but you understand.
Yeah.
If we declare war on a country with 90 million people because the president wants it and says it, and without congressional approval,
that's impeachable. Yeah.
It's impeachable.
And how many times has he been impeached for? Yeah. How many times was he impeached the last time for dumb reasons?
2, 3. And those were bullshit.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, the Ukraine one, they had a point, but it was politicized.
Hold on. He got impeached for withholding the fucking arms, not for sending them. The quid pro quo was real. Fucking Hunter was part of that whole shit. Like, it's again, I totally agree with you, but like, I wouldn't have voted for impeachment or whatever on that. But if you do this, if I'm fucking serving right now and I'm watching this beginning that my kids are gonna fucking die for your fucking regime change desire, not even yours, for your fucking Adelson donator regime change, I'm not interested. Just not interested, you know? Anyway, so go ahead. We're going so long. This is such a good time, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around with us.
There are definitely different planes of existence, i.e., the spiritual plane. I think Mark's experience tapped into that frequency or plane. The question is, who is connecting through that frequency? God.
There it is. Can we let's leave it on that. Have you heard it? Oh my God, we're 3 hours in, bro. That's amazing. So guy, 70 people, 3 hours in. Justin's been blowing up the post because it's
Thank
been
you,
such
Justin.
an engaging conversation. It's like you were on, dude. We should we got to get you on sometime. We'll get you on a panel, man.
Yeah.
Grab a webcam and a mic. We'll get you on.
Or no webcam, just get a mic.
Yeah.
You don't
Thursday,
have to show your
hey, I
face.
will do it Thursday. I'll do it as a not conscious with you two. How about that? Let's do it sometime. Let's do it in the near future, a couple weeks or something. I've got a debate coming up in a week or so that should be pretty banger. It's a Justin, you would know the guy. He was on Facebook. It's off of my Russia. That's the worst fucking thing. I'm such a douchebag. I can't help it. Hold on, let me pull up my Facebook post if I may, Zach. Is there anything else that he posted
No.
here? No, different. Hey, share a little bit about your planes of existence, your God experience. When did your epiphany, man? That's how you know.
My epiphany was literally having a panic attack and running to my back porch and trying to calm down. And I just finally said the most sincere prayer, and I actually calmed down, and I haven't had a panic attack since. I've had many other experiences, but I've always ignored it. I didn't take it seriously, but at that moment, I mean, and I'm starting to think all of everything was culminating, and
Transformational.
all
had a
the transformation,
transformational moment.
yeah, because I mean, it all happened a year after my mom's death, and I really truly didn't actually grieve, and then I had other things in life in general, and it just all came crashing down. So, and eventually led to a bunch of panic attacks, and didn't think of anything of it. So, and other issues. So, and then like I said, I started having a panic attack, and I'm freaking out even more because it's feeling like it's a heart attack, even though it's not. You know how a panic attack is, and I just didn't know why I'm having these now or what's going on. Yeah, and at that point, I finally just said a prayer.
That's cool.
So,
That's awesome.
and within,
Yeah, I had a panic
yeah,
attack. Same thing. I had a panic attack once. If you guys haven't had it, it's like a living fucking nightmare. Because
it's
all you
like,
feel is anxious that you're dying.
mm-hmm.
All you feel is like, is this my last breath? Nope. This one's my last breath. Nope. This one's my last breath.
And then it
Nope.
gets you even more
Yep.
anxious.
And it just builds and builds. It does
Yep.
not. You literally need drugs to fucking somehow. You need it to shut off. It fucking was crazy. I drove myself to the hospital while I had one. Holy fuck.
I did that too, actually.
Oh,
Not good.
dude.
No,
Not good.
no,
Oh,
not
so
good at all.
dangerous.
I had
What is
one
this, Michael, or
driving.
something? I'm confused about this. So, Justin, please clarify if you may. Anyway, go ahead, Zach.
That's about that's about it. I mean, honestly, I mean,
No, I'm saying about the panic attack we were talking. You probably had a little story.
Yeah, just the panic attacks in general. I mean, it's not fun. Yeah, I mean, I literally was in the middle of driving. I was on a highway and I just started having one. Not good. I just felt it. I had to pull over, calm myself down. But yeah, the prayer I said, I mean, I just said a little prayer and was sincere about it for the first time in my life. And then the last thing I said, I'm like, if you let me calm down, Lord, I swear to God, I swear to you, I will come back to the church. I will become a fucking Catholic again. Literally, I will even become a fucking Catholic again.
Wow, really?
1 year later, I've gone back to mass. I'm actually I'm in the thought process right now of planning on maybe getting to confirm my baptism. So I'm actually going all in.
That's cool, man.
So
That's cool. I'm trying to find this link. That's unbelievable. It's such a great story though that you literally like let go. It's kind of like Spike. Spike talked a little bit about his letting go too. Oh, here it is. So, it's not Michael, Justin. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's not Michael. But this is what I posted. This is what I posted on Facebook. I'm just going to put it up here because I'm an idiot. But basically, this is what I post.
Israel was Russia. They issued a completely unprovoked attack on another sovereign nation. Changed my mind.
So
Yeah.
the reason I did that, it's so reductionist. It's fucking almost to the point of ludicrous, almost absurd, right? But how hasn't everybody been like, Russia had an unprovoked attack on Ukraine? Yet this preemptive strike, preemptive means before they get attacked. Guess what that is? An unprovoked fucking attack, people. It's unprovoked.
Was it
So-
unprovoked? I think it was provoked through foreign policy.
All right, there it is once again, right? Because once again, Scott Horton, the book. Here we go. The reason we did
Hortoneers. Hortoneers.
Hortoneers.
Assemble!
Hortoneers unite, assemble. Dude, we're gonna call it oh my god, the League of Extraordinary Hortoneers. We're changing that shit right quick. It'll be fucking frogs. It'll be Pepe frogs with Scott Horton gray beards. You know what I'm talking about? The little Scott Horton. And check it out.
Yes.
How does this sound like for a Scott Horton? Ready? Hey, man, I can't believe they were going to do that, man. That wasn't even going to be a thing, man. And then they did it anyway. Anyway, so unprovoked, man. So anyway, that opened the floodgates to a gentleman who's actually a nobody, but I'm not going to say nobody. I'm sure he's a nice gentleman. He ran for a president. He ran for a legislative district in Arizona, Justin, by the way. If you look up this guy, I looked him up because he once called me an anti-Semite. I think he called me a fucking anti-Semite, which is even better. And I think I said this. What happened was, we had this back and forth. I'll share it with you, Zach. I'll share the link. But basically, once we get this done, because I really do, you know me, I will let you speak your mind. I'll shit on you and fucking counter you after, but I will not suppress your speech. Like, I won't, you know what I mean? Like, I will let you share what you think. So I'm happy to do that. Anyway, so this guy jumps on and he ran for some legislative district something. And what was hilarious is I go, hey, I just got back from Freedom Fest debating Brett Weinstein, James Lindsay, Spike Cohen, Clint Russell, bunch of other guys. Are you willing to have a debate after I just kind of sharpened my fucking skills, by the way, this past week? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to do it or something. And I'm like, okay, cool. I go, I recommend one thing. I probably recommend that you don't call me an anti-Semite this time, because I won't be very kind if you do that, but I'll be very kind to you prior to that, even if I won't be that kind anyway, or something like that. I'm like, no anti-Semite, please don't bring that, because if you bring that, then the barrels are coming. Because like, yeah, I could show you what a pre-anti-Semite looks like, because I certainly am not an anti-Semite, but it'll be fun. Anyway, so that's it. What are we doing?
Wild. Who's moderating it?
Israel and Russia, they're the same. Unprovoked attacks on on neighboring nations.
Who's moderating the debate, Jason? Is it an if by whiskey?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, this is what I'm hoping it's just a conversation.
Oh, okay.
The guy wrote a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, hey, tell me who you are, where you're from. Cool. You've taken the guided tour in Israel. I guarantee it. I can 100% know he's taken the guided tour. They all get the guided tour. I know specifically from, remember, like 20 to 25% of my colleagues growing up. This is not like this isn't like minority. It's not a minority. It's just a portion of the plurality. You know what I mean? Of the majority. Like, we were all mixed around. It was very even, like, between people. As a matter of fact, what's funny is in the 80s, guess who was the trash? The German fucker, the Nazi kid. He was a fucking moron.
Yep.
Any German and born in the 70s and early 80s were they were Hogan's heroes, the imbeciles. They were the fucking bad guys. They were the losers they were all the shit. We got it all. And like, I never took it personally. I never even really understood it. But now looking back on it, I'm like, holy shit. We were really like the trash of the fucking neighborhood in a weird way. Never picked on, but like, you were always the loser German. You were the Germans who lost. That's how it was.
Pretty much.
And like Hogan's Heroes was on right after school every day. I love that show, by the way. Werner Klemper.
That show's amazing. Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Dude, Bob Crane got fucked in Phoenix. He got murdered in a fucking hotel.
Probably fucked.
And fucked. That's a whole thing. Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, dude, wild.
Yeah.
He
and
fucking had sex parties in his house.
Yeah.
So he'd videotape the sex parties. He had an 8-film deal with Disney, right? He invited like the Disney producers down. So he goes, hey, I got any films. You want to hang out and check them out? And they're fucking sex films. And he just showed them. And they're Disney's like, we can't have this guy fucking be a Disney star. They fucking let him go. And it wasn't even out back then. Think about that now. And now you can't even have a man play a fucking hero role in a Disney movie. Fucking that's like racist, like, or whatever, misogyny or what, patriarchy.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man. Anyway, dude, we're over 3 fucking hours.
We've done it.
I've had so much fun. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, 70 people still. Rumble's full still. We got 4 to 6 people jumping in and out of Rumble. Justin's been on. Once again, thank you. Before we call it, please, Zach, please share all that information down there. Share how we get a hold of you. Ask us to follow, beg, plead, borrow, steal, whatever you got to do.
For Andrew's baldness, please head over to my Substack and check out some articles on there. It's substack.legacywright, thelegacywright.com. See what you think. And if you want to support Andrew's baldness, you can donate. Other than that, just check out the stuff. You don't have to, but Rumble, it's just Legacy Right on Rumble. Search us. We're on YouTube as well, The Legacy Right, or at The Legacy Right. They use the @ now. And we're on X at my tag at legacy_ZAK. So, and tomorrow at 11 a.m., I will have a lonely podcast, usually live. Andrew's not here. I'll be out of town at that point too. So it's just me rambling on about the Son of God. Chapter 2 of the Jewish Gospel by Daniel Boyan. So we're critiquing. Actually, we're not even critiquing. We're agreeing and commentating on a Jew. There you go. And so how Jesus mostly is the how the idea of Jesus becoming the Messiah in the New Testament for Christians is hidden and woven within the scripture of the Jewish Gospels, the Torah.
And there it is. This has been another Not Conscious, everybody. Please join, follow, go down, If by Whiskey, follow. Jason and I will be live Monday talking about, we're breaking down the Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson conversation. They had another one, ladies and gentlemen. I have not watched it yet. We're going to dissect the heck out of that. That'll be a great time. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you. Thank you, guys. This has been such a fun conversation. And I was gonna say one more thing, and I totally forgot. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna end with an Irish exit. I don't know if everyone's heard of an Irish exit. Look, what's going on? What's going on over there? Look at that. I think that's Jimi Hendrix in the corner. Is that Jimi Hendrix? Is that